Do not read it! No!
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
And here we are. Audio good, connection stable. Welcome. My name is Ike. This is TAGN, the Angry Game News. And I talk about video games. Primarily. Not only, but primarily. We have also a few movie news. TV show stuff. Can you still say TV show? Not really. But yes, I'm gonna focus on gaming news. And we have a shit ton of news, actually. 35 plus articles, all linked down below if you want to read them in the full length for yourself. On your time. I'm going to talk about all of those 35 plus. Our main attraction is going to be, though, Warhammer 40k, and that they might lose a lot of fans, just saying, because it's about female super soldiers. Gonna be weird. That comes a little bit later, though, because that's my main attraction, I would say, but yeah. And no, you don't get a white whiner. I don't know what a whiner is. You mean wiener. The E and the I, you need to twist, and just saying. Swap it. I came to get down, so get out of your seat and jump around. Which song is that? A shit ton of news because there hasn't been a news show. And not only. For some reason, the 14th, 15th, and the 16th were just packed, really packed. So yeah, that's the main reason. Not only because I didn't talk about anything for the past 5.5 days. Lol, shit ton angry Swiss news. I'm not super angry today, though. I'm full of potatoes, just saying. Potatoes can make me happy. TAGN that shit. Ahoy Godzilla, ahoy Beamer, ahoy Haste, ahoy ouch. Warhammer Pelosi edition. No, has nothing to do with Pelosi's Warhammer. Hammer in general. It's about literally vagina people. That's what it is about. Before we come to that, though, let's get through all of my articles I selected. Bobby Kotick claims lawsuit objecting to Microsoft Activision deal was tied to Embracer's desire to boost sales. Former Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick has claimed a lawsuit filed by Swedish pension funds was made to help Embracer in gaining a foothold in California market at the expense of Activision. Filed in 2022, Junje AP Fonden AP7 objected to Microsoft's $69 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard, alleging that Kotick rushed the sale to avoid the consequences of sexual misconduct scandals. That was a big story back then, actually. Like, seems like in Activision Blizzard, mainly in Blizzard, not even that much in Activision, the Activision part, more in the Blizzard part, that there was going on a lot of like sexual misconduct, like yeah, a lot of scandals there. That was a real thing. And this AP7 fund just claimed that Activision Blizzard, Kotick in particular, rushed that deal to be acquired by Microsoft because that's how you can get rid of certain cases. Kotick has denied these claims as detailed in a new court filing submitted last month and made public yesterday by GameFile. That was last week. The former executive described AP7's lawsuit as a collateral attack on Activision that also appears to be tied to Embracer's desire to boost sales of its games while leaving Activision hamstrung in the development of its own games that competed against Embracer's titles. I don't know how true that can be, or if there's any like logic behind it, just because this AP7 is a Swedish firm and Embracer is also a Swedish firm competing with Activision, doesn't tie them together right away. So I don't really know what Kotick tried to establish here as a thought process. Oh yeah, Masquerade. Jesus Christ, that creature is terrifying. What, Bobby Kotick? He always looked like that. He's a douchebag. I always found him to be a douchebag in the first place. AP7 went on to suggest that Kotick hastily negotiated a Merger 2 project himself, agreeing to sell Activision to Microsoft for $95 per share after being faced with increasing pressure to leave Activision. In response, Kotick reiterated his claims that Communications Workers of America, CWA, submitted fake complaints after it started looking at technology and realizing it as losing members at a really dramatic rate. At the time, Kotick said, "There is no place anywhere at our company for discrimination, harassment, or unequal treatment of any kind, and I'm grateful to the employees who bravely shared their experiences." In his reply to AP7's lawsuit, Kotick said that Activision Blizzard settled this lawsuit because it was costly, distracting, and time-consuming. Sure it was. And that's how you got rid of certain cases. But now we got more information from his perspective, more or less. Does it make it better? I don't know, because this whole case is not over yet. Like the lawsuit by AP7. We have to wait to see what's gonna happen in the future, development-wise. What a weirdo. He had always this fake smile. Now, good news for some of us, maybe. Meta shuts 3 VR studios and lays off hundreds of devs as it pivots from virtual reality to the metaverse and the metaverse to AI. Meta is laying off around 10% of staff at its Reality Labs division as part of sweeping cuts set to affect more than 1,000 people. This includes the closure of a number of VR-first studios, such as Twisted Pixel, the studio behind Deadpool VR, Resident Evil 4 VR developer Amateur Studio, and Asgard's Wrath maker, Sansura Games. According to Bloomberg, the cuts come as Meta pivots away from the metaverse towards AI, phones, and wearable tech. The cuts come just over 4 years after Facebook changed its name to Meta and went big on virtual reality and the metaverse. Yeah, you all remember maybe the metaverse? Zuckerberg praised this to the highest of the gay-ass VR heavens, and it went nowhere. It looked always cheap from the very beginning, despite the VR realm was nothing new, but it looked always super cheap. And it was not only the VR part, he already pushed this AI world in the first place too. So I don't know really what they are trying to establish here. It is a different thing now. It is completely AI. It has nothing to do with the metaverse. It's all bullshit. He needs to save money though somehow, because despite being a multi-billion-dollar company, Meta, they seem not to generate any more money these days. So they need to do also some cuts. Yeah, weird. Isn't that weird? It's the Indians being fired. Not sure about that. Could be. I'm not convinced though. I'll be lurking while in the kitchen bitch duty. Ahoy, Mrs. Sarge. In a statement, Meta confirmed the 3 studios closures. We said last month that we were shifting some of our investment from metaverse towards wearables. This is part of that effort, and we plan to reinvest the savings to support the growth of wearables this year. So they go from something that already didn't took really off that well to something that nobody should wear and nobody should buy and nobody should get, and help Meta. Wearables like trackable fucking clothing. Are you out of your mind? If you buy that shit, you deserve everything what's coming towards the humanity. Total control. Make it for the police, I guess, for the feds, easier to fucking track you. Good deal, buddies. Good deal. But usually people are not super into that. Otherwise, the metaverse would have took off already. And VR, I think the VR Quest is the meta thing, right? It would have made them so much money. According to Reuters, CEO Mark Zuckerberg prioritized and spent heavily on the metaverse, only for the business to burn more than $60 billion since 2020. The Reality Labs business also produces a Meta's Quest mixed reality headset. According to CNBC, Meta isn't abandoning VR entirely. It is now courting developers who build games for Roblox to build experiences for Horizon Worlds. Okay, yeah, you're tying that the whole thing with Roblox, making it for pedophiles easier in the metaverse with AI to jerk off. Good deal. Good deal. Hey, on the iPad, I can't tag. What is the app still not allowing you to fucking just press on the names? That's fucking weird. That was a thing from the beginning on. Rumble is not paying attention. Rumble is not doing well. He's a Manchurian candidate. I don't know what he is. He is an android. He is probably not a real human. Despite he told everybody, I was human, or I'm still human. What an awkward fucking phrase. It just shows me that all those tech giants, gurus, are not really that smart. People all pretend they are so amazingly smart. They are not. Not in my opinion, at least. But yes, wearables is soon enough by Meta, by Facebook, to track you easier. Is it going to work on the population? I don't know, but I hope not, man. I just hope not. They're all installed. They are. Eidos Montreal is working on an unannounced quadruple A game. A job description for Eidos Montreal, the developer of Deus Ex Mankind Divided and Guardians of the Galaxy, reveals it's working on something big. A keen eye spotted the job for a senior environment artist for an unannounced quadruple A game project on a LinkedIn page for former Ubisoft and Eidos Montreal artist Darian McRae, which they worked on for 2 months before departing for a full-time position at Yellow Brick Games in August of 2025. So wasting a lot of money, maybe. Quadruple A games means usually it's above like 500 million fucking production budget there, which is fucking insane. But where does this money all come from? I mean, in the end, it's Embracer, but still, it sounds crazy. In 2022, it was reported that Eidos Montreal was in the early stages of developing a brand new Deus Ex game, but the company was sold to Embracer that year, and the project was cancelled as the studio endured layoffs. Could there be a revival of that project? Seems unlikely, but the use of a quadruple A to describe whatever being made appears to suggest it's big enough to warrant that. After Thief VR, is it possible there's a new regular Thief in the works? Wasting that amount of money in a Thief game? I mean, they did okay, the Thief games in general, but does it warrant to make it a new Thief game? It should be amazing. It has to be amazing, though, if it's going to be a Thief game. Mrs. Sarge Beemore is looking at you. I don't know why he is staring at you in the kitchen, but he does. I used to think Indians were smart until I learned about their visa scams. Operation Chimp Out. Is that a thing? Operation Chimp Out? I mean, there are enough really smart Indians because there are a lot of Indians in general. So you're going to get a certain amount of very smart Indians too. But you're not importing like the majority because they are so smart. They are just cheap. Despite a few fire sales, Embracer still has a hold of plenty of IP. including the rights to the Lord of the Rings. So Eidos Montreal may be tackling something outside its historical wheelhouse. Eidos Montreal's most recent project was to co-develop Obsidian on Grounded 2 and developing Thief VR. In terms of future projects, we know about its assisting Playground games on the new Fable, which is gonna bomb. It is just not gonna do well. Fable is already dead on arrival. That's just my prediction. I might be wrong, but I showed that face multiple times here on this show. Nobody wants that female Fable character to play. No fucking way. What is it going to be? We don't know, but according to the job description, it's going to be a quadruple A game in development. Who knows? This happened last week too. 24 and Metal Gear Solid 5 star Kiefer Sutherland arrested after allegedly assaulting and threatening a ride-share driver in Hollywood. Kiefer Sutherland was arrested after allegedly assaulting and threatening a ride-share driver in Hollywood, according to local police. The Los Angeles Police Department said Sutherland entered a ride-share vehicle, physically assaulted the driver, the victim. Oh, thank you that you put it in parentheses there to understand that the driver is in this case the victim. The one who being assaulted is always the victim, for fuck's sake. What is game journalist, man? And made criminal threats. Oh, good that you also specify that's criminal threats and not just regular threats. In an incident near Sunset Boulevard and Fairfax Avenue around midnight on Monday. According to NBC4, the LAPD said the victim was not injured in the incident, which is now under investigation. The 59-year-old former star of the TV series 24 was released after paying a $50,000 bond and is now due at Los Angeles Superior Court on February 2nd. Sutherland's representatives have yet to comment. Sutherland is famous for playing Special Agent Jack Bauer on 24 and Snake in Metal Gear Solid 5. So we had to just include him here, and we don't know more about the story. Maybe Sutherland was actually the victim first. Maybe something happened. We don't know the whole story here. It seems just weird that they tell us he just entered the vehicle and assaulted that guy, just out of nowhere. Was he on crack? Sounds weird. Alright, Tin Rabbit. I'm trying to clean some muck off my screen. Turns out the muck is your mouse pointer. My mouse pointer. Well, I have to use my mouse. Sorry. He's crazy, lol. He might be crazy. I thought he always was a little more normal, but he might be just on crack all the time. Sutherland was also a while back playing nude poker drunk at a bar. I don't see any problem with that. Usually kids are not allowed to enter bars, right? So, whatever. I have no problems with that. Nintendo's share price has dropped 33% in the last 5 months in Japan. As noted by GameSpark, Nintendo's share price dropped to 9,950 yen, $62.7 on Tuesday, the first time the price has dropped below 10,000 yen since April 2025. Back in August 2025, the share price reached a high point of 40,795 yen, $93.23. The highest share price ever recorded for the company, but has dropped notably since then. While the reasons for the company's rise or fall in share price can only ever be speculated, it appears likely that the record high in August 2025 was due to Switch 2 smashing sales records in Japan and in the US following its June 2025 release. Oh, you don't say that the Switch 2, the release of the Switch 2 might have an impact on the fucking value of the company. You're a fucking genius, a fucking genius. I'm so proud of those game journalists. Isn't that weird that they are so smart? A lot of them lose their shit once their stars starts to fade. Did he start Fate though? I'm not sure. I don't remember anything else right now. What he did recently. So, and I didn't watch 24 really that much. Don't you know who I am? Yeah, it might be like just a little bit narcissistic. Just like your president, not yours. Ouch, my junk. Your president is gay in general. And you don't have even a president, just a prime minister. So fuck you anyway. But the US president is like, I just saw he made a note to the Norwegian fucking governments, which makes no sense, about the Nobel Peace Prize, that he actually deserved the Nobel Peace Prize in the first place because he made so much peace on this planet. And that's the reason why Denmark, which is a completely different country, by the way, just for you illiterate out there, uneducated fucking retards. Denmark and Norway are not the same fucking country. That's why he then demanded from Denmark to be sold the Greenland to the US. Makes zero sense, but he is a little bit out of his mind recently. He's a little bit out there. It's weird. Shareholders will also doubtlessly be concerned about the potential of future price increases as a result of the increasingly high cost of RAM and ongoing tariffs, with most notably in America. Last week, Nintendo President Shunto Furukawa said the company was keeping a close eye on Switch 2's profit margin as the increase in memory price and international tariffs remain an ongoing issue in the industry. And most likely, we're going to get in 2026 a price hike for the Switch 2 already. Just because of the RAM issue. The RAM issue might get better next year, but for this year, if Nintendo didn't stock up on RAM chips, they might have to raise the price 30, 40, 50 bucks, something like that. Or make a Switch version with less RAM, which we come to it in a second. The Nintendo stock is still doing pretty well. It's doing okay, for sure. I originally bought shares at $9, now worth $16. Good for you, El Mascarado.
Oh, good for you. And how was it? I hope it was fucking good.
I hope it was fucking good for you. I'm not going to buy them now, for sure. They are just too high. But for $9, yeah. And you all need to keep that in mind. Inflation is a thing. And that shows also in the prices of the shares of the stock. Meaning the company might not really get more value just because it is higher than it was 4 years ago. When like the whole inflation thing started to really ramp up. It might be like the 20% hike since the last 4 or 5 years is included in the price of the stocks. Doesn't make it more valuable. It might be the same value, just the dollar is devalued. That's a news for people who really love that game, and it's like kind of a classic. Many people know about Echo, but only a few really played it. New Echo the Dolphin officially in development. A&R Atelier is developing a new game about the famous video game aquatic mammal Echo the Dolphin. And there's the promise that more is to come. It's previously been reported that we'd get a fresh follow-up to the unique Sega Mega Drive Genesis Metroidvania, and the new developer has confirmed it's already at work on it, adding that there are several new Echo the Dolphin products and games are currently in development. That certainly references remasters that were reported to be in the works for the first 2 games. There's little else mentioned about the new Echo the Dolphin, and no, there's not so much as the teaser for it either. But the upside is that a new Echo the Dolphin is happening. I played it only on my Game Gear. I didn't have a Genesis. and I didn't play it ever through. It was okay, but it got like boring after a while because it didn't work super well, like this Metroidvania style of a game with a dolphin going back and forth and solving puzzles and all that. But it's nonetheless, it's like a fucking classic overall. So are you 60 plus? Ouch, my junk. Who knows? Who knows? But what do I know? I'm just a Steam boomer. Oh, you are absolutely a Steam boomer. You are annoying. I had to facepalm off stream because of you. Oh my god, Echo the Dolphin, you are giving me flashbacks. Did you play the game on Genesis or on a different console? Now I don't know what to think about this news. When like the three giants in video game combine forces, it's not a good sign. It's not a good sign. There might be something more to it. What? I'm not sure, but they might join forces to fuck around with people's privacy, with people's rights in gaming. So I don't know what to think about it in general. Sony, Xbox, Nintendo publish shared statement on player safety in games. Yeah, because they are super concerned about players' safety, whatever that means. Whatever that really means. I don't need to be safe while I'm gaming. You just give me the game, especially when it's a solo game. I don't need to be protected. Maybe only from high prices. You demand. Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo have today uploaded a shared statement that provides an update on the commitment the three companies made back in 2020 to improve player safety when playing games. The statement is repeated across the Sony Interactive, Xbox Wire, and Nintendo websites, touching on the core pillars of prevention, partnership, and responsibility. The general message is designed to enhance player safety and make the three firms' games feel welcome for everyone. Sure. That sounds to me like if Johnson & Johnson and Pfizer and Moderna join forces and tell you about the safety of vaccines. That sounds the exact same in my ears. So you can't trust those supposedly very competing big corporation giving you a shared fucking message in your face. Sounds weird. Sounds just weird. And I just picked some points of this whole statement thing, just to see what it is about overall. Prevention. Empower players and parents to understand and control gaming experiences. We provide controls that let players customize their gaming experience. We support parents with the tools and information necessary to help them customize appropriate gaming experiences for their children. Partnership. We partner with industry peers, publishers, regulators, law enforcement, and our communities to advance player safety. Our commitment to safety is central. We believe collaboration benefits the video game industry and all players by fostering safe game experiences. No, what you're trying is to make one mindset for all the gamers, meaning it's just easier for all three of you, make certain guidelines, and therefore don't divert the mindset of people, so people don't go to the other ones and just can buy everything at once, and doesn't matter which subscription you have, and you're not going to think about anything in the future about any games. You're just going to be safe. You know, those three companies keep you safe. Somehow. We conduct shared research to inform policy decisions and drive the industry innovation. Individually, we have engaged with external research centers that study play and well-being. Yeah, they just just don't want to spend too much money, like doing individual research to see what their player base is in general. They want to unify, they want to homogenize the player. You know, they don't want to think about what they should develop or what kind of game. If it's just going to be all the same fucking generic stuff, it's easier for all three of them. Don't need to spend the money individual researching everything, you know? Much easier for them. It's not about safety. They don't care about your fucking well-being. Just a plain lie here. Can you protect me from getting swatted? Sure, they're gonna try that to make, like, if you're gonna get swatted, you're gonna be like safe. Somehow you're gonna be safe because it was not allowed to be swatted in the first place. They're gonna come up with all kinds of excuses for stupid shit like that. Don't give him any ideas. No, but I remember the game. How can you have them flashbacks? Echo the Dolphin is available on Switch Online. It's also available on other platforms and collection on PC, Steam, in the Sega Genesis collection. On one of those, it's Echo the Dolphin included. We are the Borg. As soon as games went to play with random dudes on the internet, it invited child sex offenders to play with your kids. It wasn't a great idea. It wasn't thought out well. Well, yeah, of course not. But it's always in the hands of the parents to see what your kid is doing online, or what your kid is doing in general. Like, just ask your kid what is your kid interested in and what is he playing, and just to show you what your kid is playing. How about that? You also don't just let your kid drive with your kids into the city in a weird neighborhood and drop your kid off and say, like, oh, till in 10 hours. When I come back and get you, we go home then together. You want to know what your kid is doing in general. That's your job as a parent, to know what your kid is up to. And that's how you can protect your own kid better in general. So the internet is there, yes, and as soon as you are in a worldwide interwebs platform, Roblox, for example, you as the parent need to keep an eye on your kids and protect it this way. Otherwise, you're just pretending to parent. You're just pretending to care for your child. And you leave it to the government at the end, because that's the only way to protect your own kid, because you're too stupid. You shouldn't have kids then at all, in my opinion. Parents today, most of them don't give a shit. Yeah, those are asshole parents, useless parents. What they do online, or they have no ability to stop them. That's not a good excuse. I think that's not an excuse at all. No way to stop them. That means you already failed at parenting. Like, your child should consider your opinion and your saying as a higher valued statement than what the internet says, what your teacher says, and all that. If as a kid you don't listen to your parents anymore, the parents failed. Parents used to drop kids off like that in a bad neighborhood and come back 10 hours later. I don't know. I grew up in a village, and there was nothing too outstanding, extraordinary going on in the village. And I could walk home over like noon to go eat at home. That's how I grew up. Responsibility. We hold ourselves accountable for making our platforms as safe as possible for all players. Maybe a little bit more for those weirdos. I just saw that Side Scrolls had that one fucking weirdo on again. I don't understand. We make it easy for players to report violations of our codes of conduct and community guidelines, which we work to refine and evolve to support our player communities. And again, that's a shared message. So they are doing like the same guidelines overall, the same community guidelines. the same codes of conduct. It's all never good when those big ass companies, corporation join forces. It's not going to be better for you as a customer or consumer. We comply with all applicable laws in the places we do business and respond to legitimate requests from law enforcement. We promptly notify law enforcement if we observe unlawful conduct or where we believe a player is at risk of imminent harm. That's like a very specific statement here, a very specific point. That means they are going to monitor you all the fucking time. And when they see that you are in the UK, you have made your account in the UK, and you have registered in the UK with your account, and you say something naughty in some forum, in some chats in a game, they directly, as far as they are concerned, will just report you to the law enforcement. That is probably the most scary statement here in this whole message, that they are actively like watching at your fingertips what you're writing, because it's unlawful in the UK to do certain statements online. That's just how it is right now. So I hate everything in this joint forces player safety guidelines statement. Fuck all three of them. Fuck all three of them. So when I was already not buying them, it doesn't make me buy them, any of their products, more these days. Maybe here and there a game, but less and less likely these days. Yeah. Parents used to I used to walk around New York City alone as a kid, but that was late 90s. Yeah, but you're a ginger. Nobody wants gingers. Whatever, right? I grew up in the project. It was wild. Neighbors were gangbangers, prostitutes, and meth users. Laughing my ass off. Yeah, but nothing has changed in your neighborhood, did it, El Mascarado? And El Mascarado, you need to stay for today's whole show, because we have some Latinx news, or Latinx news. Like Kobe flew the helicopter better. What? Best approach, say nothing. I mean, that's the safest approach, but you're censoring yourself if you just keep your mouth shut on every aspect, on every issue. It's not going to get better, you know? Because when you don't say anything at all, when you don't like reply to those weirdos trying to make you their slave, they're just consumer, not customer anymore, just fucking consume everything. If you keep silent, they take it as a statement by itself, meaning, hey, nobody was against that. Let's keep moving with that same mindset and fuck them even harder in the butt. Why did you scroll down? God of War TV series finds its Kratos with Sons of Anarchy actor. Prime Video has announced that Sons of Anarchy actor Ryan Hurst will play Kratos in the upcoming live-action TV series. Hurst is a familiar name in the world of God of War, as he played Thor in the God of War Ragnarok, a role that earned him a BAFTA award nomination, which is the British actor whatever association there. Fucking Brits. Fuck the Brits, Tin Rabbit. How about that? Hurst is the first actor to be named for the God of War TV show, so it remains to be seen who will play Atreus or any of the other roles. And a little bit later, a few days later, we got more confirmation of other roles. Another God of War TV series cast member has been revealed. With casting on the way, it seems we know another face to look out for alongside star Ryan Hurst. As reported by Deadline, Teresa Palmer has joined the cast of God of War. According to the report, she'll be playing the part of Phoebe Sif, the wife of Thor Thor and Goddess of Family. I'm okay with those selections. I don't know anything about them. So let's see what else is going to be, or who else is going to be in the cast, right? Knowing Amazon, they need to do certain DEI stuff. No doubt about that. So, yeah. But I'm kind of looking a little bit forward to God of War TV show. They're probably going to fuck it up, but I like the games. What can I say? Nah, I got a job and moved to a white neighborhood. Well, they gonna call ice on your ass and mascara sooner or later. Good move, good call, good actor. Nicole Kidman? No. She doesn't look like Nicole Kidman. Are you crazy? Nicole Kidman had her primes, I would say, like 20 plus years ago. After that, it went just downwards. And then you saw her, when was that? Maybe 6 years ago, 5 years ago. Her eating fucking bugs and spiders and all that shit and pretending that she likes that nonsense. I don't know what's going on in that crazy head of Nicole. Why is Teresa naked? Is she? She has just a naked back, that's all. Don't be a gooner. But we shall see how the show turns out. Yeah. Ryan Hurst was on Sons of Anarchy. That's what I just said. That's what I just read. Are you not listening? No, he is not listening. Just like last Saturday. He doesn't like to listen to me. Why do you hate me so much, Arch? What's wrong with you? Nicole Kidman was better looking than this Teresa Palmer. No, you are wrong on that. You are wrong on that. But you're okay. You can be wrong. Ryan Hurst was fuck you, Beamer. Fuck you, Beamer. Now a model that seems to pay off for small companies and big companies, not getting any fees deducted from their shares. Direct-to-consumer transactions have become a core scalable revenue system, says AppCharge. Direct-to-consumer DTC monetization has become a core revenue system, according to the new data from AppCharge. The mobile monetization platform analyzed over $700 million of live transaction data and found that DTC transactions have moved from experimentation to a core scalable revenue system. It is estimated that the top 200 mobile publishers globally are wasting approximately $41 million per day on App Store fees rather than DTC payments. AppCharge said that in the long term, web stores offer the most durable DTC foundation, as it operates outside App Store billing, therefore insulates publishers from future fee changes and platform billing and its 30% fee. Yeah, I mean, Google Play takes 30%, App Store, Apple's App Store takes 30%. So if you can get rid of that part, all the revenue is pretty much full income, you know? All the revenue is full income. You might just need to pay like the card company, the credit card companies. That's pretty much it. The downsides of that is, though, those app companies who like publish those apps on iOS, meaning the App Store, or Google Play Store, Google and Apple are going to lose money over time. They still are like publishing those games for those developers in that sense. They still do all the storage. They still do all the services, you know, and they can't do right now anything against that. So they might come up with a new system sooner or later to make money back. Because every time you interact in those apps, usually you go over Google servers and Apple servers with any transaction, like data-wise, saving your game and downloading updates and all that. Only a very handful of games really are like separated from those big ass stores, at least in the West. You have in China and all that, you have other Play stores, but I don't know about how much they take. But they can't be sustainable forever for those apps. That's the point here. However, it did highlight the potential for additional fees on external payments. This came after Apple pursued a US appeal court that it should be allowed to charge a reasonable fee to reflect the actual cost to ensure user security and privacy. I mean, the stuff about security and privacy, they don't care about that. It's more like the server cost, like storing all the data in the first place. And being available like 24/7 all the time. The platform also highlighted the success of Epic Games Store on Android and iOS, which has been downloaded more than 40 million times since its 2024 launch. And you might remember that Apple had a big beef with Epic, the Epic company, because Epic made it already this way and went against the terms of services of Apple, meaning you could have done some microtransaction outside of the Apple Store ecosystem, and Apple was really not happy about that. So they went to court, and at least in the EU, they won against Apple. And therefore, you can do all kinds of side business, pretty much. And we have now this precedent, we have now this case. It didn't go well for Apple. Now everybody can do that the same to Google. Meaning charging for crystals, coins, whatever you have in-game currencies outside of their ecosystems. And unlike most white girls, she's actually aging pretty well. Nicole Kidman? No. You're out of your mind, Haste, as usual. Nicole Kidman is a fucking Botox, destroyed face, plastic surgery creature. She doesn't look good. She didn't age well. It's all fucking plastic. She's had work done a lot. That was shitty of Apple. I mean, now we are at this state. All those companies are including now a link in the app to get into an outside store, meaning it just will open up the web browser on your smartphone, and you can get your crystals, your coins outside of those ecosystems. They're going to save a lot of money. Do they forward that saving to the customer? That's a different story. That depends completely on all those smaller mobile developers and publishers. But yes, we have a little bit more hard data that this method, this consumer direct transaction, is just very profitable for those companies. Let me take a sip here. Dry throat and shit. Now you know about the story, right? I told you multiple times. And this is an ongoing development here. Rockstar laid off certain people who were in a Discord channel and server, and they tried to unionize themselves and get into the union. And supposedly they told something to the union and to outsiders at this very point. They were still outsiders, like internal Rockstar classified information, yes, confidential information. Rockstar submits evidence in union court case. Some of the evidence submitted by Rockstar to warrant the dismissal of 34 employees was actually 31 a few weeks ago. Now it's already 34. So they laid off more people. Interesting. For the gross misconduct has been revealed following a primarily UK employment tribunal hearing. The hearing, which saw the Glasgow Employment Tribunal reject a request for interim relief, included the confidential information allegedly distributed on a Discord server set up by the Independent Workers' Union of Great Britain, IWGB. As reported by the People Make Games, Rockstar's barrister Andrew Burns did not want messages related to the information read in court. But as PMG, People Make Games, noted, Rockstar did not apply for reporting restrictions on its submission of evidence, and so was able to make an appointment with the court to view it. The top secret, in quotation mark here, evidence referred to a conversation that included 2 fired employees about requesting time off. PMG said Rockstar was gravely concerned to discover some of the claimants had been sharing highly confidential and commercially sensitive information relating to the content of features of an unannounced live service. They discussed the specific number of online players planned for this service, a material feature of this new title, which has not yet been revealed by Rockstar. So that's what I said from the very beginning on. Rockstar would not have laid them off because of the unionization process. I was always thinking they don't care for that. They know how it goes in the UK. In the UK, you can form very easily unions and all that and join them. So Rockstar most likely did not have any problems with that. And now Rockstar provided more evidence that those people who wanted to join the union told sensitive information to outsiders right away. That's what they were concerned with. And that's why I thought, like, from the very beginning on, Rockstar probably is going to win this easily, in that sense that they're just going to waste time and just move on and provide whatever evidence they need to provide to show that they don't care about the union itself. But telling outsiders certain information about live services that they are not even announced yet, how the services work and all that. So yeah, those people are pretty much fucked. They're not going to get any monies, no pennies by Rockstar. I'm pretty sure. So this just confirms more of my beliefs here I had already. Rockstar's head of publishing, Jennifer Colby, said in her witness statement that this message included information about working patterns in their team that could indicate the stage of development of Grand Theft Auto 6 and could also undermine team collaboration. Yeah, just another piece of information Rockstar gives now out. And those union workers and those people who have been laid off will not see any sense, man. They should realize when they are beaten. That's just my opinion, though. Nicole still needs a lot of work done, in my opinion. I guess. Today on TAGN, Ike was right again. I mean, I don't even knew a lot about Rockstar, but just if you know about societies in certain regions on this planet, in certain countries, you already know Rockstar is not gonna waste their time and money just on 30 plus people to lay them off because they wanted to get in a union. I bet with you hundreds and hundreds of people in Rockstar, in the company, are already in a union, and they had never problems with that. So why would it be now a problem? So it was never a union busting thing. So I always, just logically, it didn't make sense to me. But yes, Some union workers think they are smarter than those multi-billion companies. Weirdos. But Rockstar also might be a dick and a prick company in general. I have my theory about this this upcoming news right now. Police have cornered off Rockstar North after explosion reportedly causes by malfunctioning boiler. I'm gonna just read mainly the update here, but the original article was earlier, yesterday. When was it? Yes, yesterday. The Rockstar North office has been cornered off by police following an explosion. While the source is currently unconfirmed, reports suggest that the boiler is the cause. Update: a few hours later, a Rockstar spokesperson has provided a statement to IGN addressing the matter, confirming a boiler malfunction was the cause of the incident. The statement reads as follows. Early Monday morning, there was a malfunction in one of the heating boilers at Rockstar North. Many thanks to those that reached out with concern, and also the police and fire crews who were on scene quickly to assess the situation. Please know that everyone is well and our studio remains open and operational. I don't know, man. It's like a weird time that something like that happens all of a sudden. A boiler malfunction and exploded, just a heating boiler. Or you're not maintaining your shit. Sounds just weird in general. Like the time frame is just a little bit weird. They provided now a little bit evidence to the court about this whole case of the layoffs and the union stuff. And an explosion at Rockstar North, it's just gonna like invoke sympathy or empathy, and more like empathy for them. Like, oh shit, what happened? And the union is not happy with them. Did they maybe conduct a terrorizing act, a terrorist act? Who knows? And all that blah blah blah. You know, people are just gonna make have some thoughts in their minds. You know. No matter what really happened, explosion, Rockstar, people are going to have now more empathy with Rockstar in general, and they now will just wait with more anticipation on the new game, GTA 6. I just have my theory that because it's a multi-billion fucking product here, they're going to sell like a lot of copies, and it's going to be for the next 10 years, they're going to make billions and billions of dollars on this one game. So why not already set up something, you know, just to invoke more empathy for them? That could happen, you know. People have killed for way less and destroyed for way less property, their own property, and just to invoke certain thoughts in people's minds. ARC for a work calls. Yeah, you're being ARC. No problem. Haste. But yes, that's just my thought. I have no evidence for anything, but because a lot of money is involved, I can imagine that Rockstar did something. That's all. UrhG, the new owner, has something to say about Windows. It's such poor quality software. UrhG owner criticizes Windows, says it will support Linux better in the future. The new owner, let's not read that part. Last month, CD Projekt Red sold UrhG.com to its co-founder Mikhail Kicinski, who bought 100% of the shares for 90.7 million Polish zloty. Which is roughly $25.2 million US. In an interview with PC Gamer, Kisninski and managing director Maciej Golubieski were asked whether UrhG had plans to focus more on Linux going forward, given a growth in pro-Linux and anti-Windows sentiments among some PC players. Yes, we are, Golubieski replied, stating that Linux was one of the things that we've put in our strategy for this year to look closer at. I don't want to commit to any specifics, but certainly you will see this trend. And we also see that Linux is close to the hearts of our users. So we probably could do better on that front. And that's something that we'll be looking at, he added. Kaczynski then addresses the current state of Windows, saying he was really surprised that it continues to hold such a large market share despite its issues. It's such poor quality software and product, and I'm so surprised that it's spent so many years on the market, he said. I can't believe it. Kaczynski added that while he mostly uses a Mac now, I sometimes have to fix my mom's computer and my father's computer with Windows, and like it's unbelievable. So I'm not surprised that people gravitate outside of the Windows ecosystem. It's not the best ecosystem. While GOG's main competitor, Valve, also sells Windows games, its SteamOS operating system uses for the Steam Deck and upcoming Steam Machine and Steam Frame is a Linux-based system which supports Proton, a compatibility layer that lets Windows games run on Linux. Windows remains the most popular operating system among PC gamers by some distance. However, seems the hardware and software survey for December 2025 shows that 49.2% of players use Windows, with 3.5% using Linux and 2.2% using Mac OS. So Linux got a little bit more share here over the years, that's for sure, and Proton is helping to port the games from Windows over to more Linux-based stuff with the SteamOS. And I would love to see if maybe GOG and Valve can kind of partner up, use the Proton layer system overall for GOG. Just like a switching method, till GOG figures out themselves how to make all those games natively run. But if they can work out something with Valve together, that would be cool. For at least players would probably benefit from that big time. And in the past, they had already like a joint venture going on. At the beginning of GOG, you could have connected, you still can do that, connect your Steam account with GOG, and certain games you had in your library on Steam, you got DRM free on GOG. For the CD Projekt Red games, that might still be the case, by the way. If you have it on Steam, you're probably gonna just be able to download it on GOG if you connect your accounts together. You look a little red, Ike. I had blood pressure, blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking of getting a new computer. I'm getting ready for Linux. No Win 11 for me. What do you think, Ike? Should I do it? Nah, I don't care what you do. I don't have Windows 11 right now. And for me, it doesn't matter because I'm using my simple firewall that blocks everything if I desire so. Privacy-wise, Windows 11 is a nightmare. System-wise, it's the same overall. You're just not going to get updates now anymore for Windows 10. Keep that in mind. And depends on if you're stupid ass flying simulator games have a Linux version or can run on Linux. I don't care what you do, Shadow Steve. Mainly because you are a prick as usual. Red. I'm not red. Now that's good news. That's good news in my opinion. Sony wiped over 1,000 shovelware games off the PlayStation Store without warning, all from a single developer. El Mascarado, are you still around? That's a news for you. Over 1,000 games from a single developer have been suddenly removed from PlayStation Store in what appears to be a massive move by Sony to shift shovelware games off the PS5 and PS5 Store. The developer in question was Thai Games, which prior to the wipe yesterday was the 4th highest ranked developer on this PlayStation Store in terms of quantity. as of writing, there has been no statement from either Sony or TAGN as why this widespread removal of games has happened. It is, however, worth noting that TAGN is known for games of particular quality. I would put quality in quotation here. Just saying. Take the jumping fries, in which you play fries and jump around. See also the jumping taco, the jumping hot dog, and the jumping soda and the jumping taco turbo. So fucking stupid. And I'm going to show you the jumping taco. Just because of El Mascarada. That's a game for you. It has already the music. You're going to love this. That's the game. Might be already too high, you know, to fathom for Cheddar Steve. Press or hold X button. You just hold the button and that's the whole game. And you get all those nice trophies, like you achieved something. Like you are such a retard, you managed to hold the button the whole time. It's not just a taco, it's a jumping taco, Tin Rabbit. It already jumped 380 times now. No, trophy earned cheese taco. That's the gold trophy. The chili cheese taco trophy earned. Amazing. Yeah, we got the platinum. We beat the game. That's absolutely disgusting that somebody was able to put that on the PlayStation Store and call it a game, you know? I would be like amazed maybe if I was extra retarded and in the 60s, like if that would be the first game ever created. Wow, I have on my screen on my 10-inch 60-pound television in white and black and white, a jumping taco with this amazing sound. It was not even stereo though. I'm glad that Sony fucking removed that nonsense. 1,000 of those. When we have, like I said, we have the jumping hot dog. That might be something for Ouch My Junk, maybe. Maybe they have the jumping leaf. It's just weird, man. It's just weird. Something Sony did well. Oi, Supersonic. Isle loves the jumping Swiss mushroom bread. Yeah, I don't know who Isle is, but he might love it. Isle might love it. Another news for El Mascarada. I tied them together. I tried to make it like in one section here. Speedy Gonzalez set to get his own standalone movie. Warner Bros. Looks to be returning to its army of animated Looney Tunes characters and putting all the attention on one of its fastest, with the news that Speedy Gonzalez film is in the works. The fastest mouse in all of Mexico has been handed over to director Jorge R. Gutierrez, who teases the announcement on social media. The director posted a photo on Instagram wearing a similar hat and bandana that Speedy was synonymous with, and holding a toy version of the character. Gutierrez wrote, "Guess what movie I might be developing at Warner Bros. Picture Animation," which has now been confirmed by The Hollywood Reporter. I mean, he is a Latinx himself, so he is allowed to do the stereotype, right? I loved actually as a kid. Speedy Gonzalez, the fastest mouse in all of Mexico. What do you think about that, El Mascarada? Are you hyped for this? I mean, they have still chances to fuck this up somehow, you know? They might not be able to do it like stereotypical. They might do something else, like remove the hat because the sombrero. No bueno, no bueno. You can't do that anymore. It is racist. even if the Mexicans still might love it. Weirdo. Gonna lurk, need to do work shit. Well, he missed this great news. Did people buy the jumping taco game? If they bought it, they deserve to lose that money. What can I say? I mean, the game is so short, you might be able just to return it. As long as you don't have maybe a certain trophy. In related news, ICE is buying up movie theaters. Maybe because of Speedy Gonzalez. Getting all the brown people. Speaking of brown people, let's talk about a little bit black people. Relooted finally has a launch date. Launches February 10th. African futurist heist game Relooted will launch for Xbox Series and PC via Steam and Epic Games Store on February 10th. Developer Nyamakop announced. Are you hyped? I needed to tell everybody because so many people waited for this game to be finally be released. I saw Blabbering Collector, meaning Blabs, playing it, the demo of this, and it is just lame in my opinion. It will go nowhere. It will go absolutely nowhere. And they're gonna blame racism because it's not gonna do well. They're gonna blame all the white people, primarily. Why it fucking didn't sold. Just watch and see. Just watch and see. Speedy Gonzalez escapes from ICE. Oh, easily. Easily. Oi, Oli, Olo. Just saying. Just saying. What are you saying, just? Who's gonna buy Relooted? The premise of this game is those Africans gonna reloot artifacts from museums and private collectors all around the world, just stealing their shit back in that sense. Does it make sense? No, because many of those artifacts, if you can call them artifacts in the first place, were sold by certain African countries and nations in the first place. Not all of them for sure, but many of those. Artifacts, statues, masks, mummies and all that were sold off. And also, this game tries to convey the thought to people like Africa is this one big friendly to each other nation, which is not. It's a fucking big-ass continent, and many of those nations don't like each other either. It's not like they are unified at all. Same goes for South America. Heck, even North America can't agree on many things. Why would they join forces for everything, especially to reloot artifacts? Makes no sense, but that's how they try to depict it. Weird. It's Ololi. Way too long, man. I'm just gonna call you Olo. If you don't like that, well, maybe you pay me, and I'm gonna force myself to read the whole name more correctly. Sorry. We made the OK sign a white power symbol. We can do the same with the purple hair. We can do it with anything. We only have to say this is ours, and they fall all over themselves to flee. Well, yep, call him Olo. I just did. Now, that's an interesting story because Hayes is not here anymore, but he was very, very firm in the belief that the Resident Evil engine, the RE engine, is not good for open world games because it doesn't work on Dragon's Dogma 2 and one of the Monster Hunter games, and in particular Wilds has the issues. The other games don't have the issues. So And we know maybe now why it has such horrible performance. Monster Hunter Wilds modder uncovers bizarre reason why PC performance might be so bad. Monster Hunter Wilds performance on PC has been notoriously bad going back to launch, and nobody is quite sure why. One new theory suggests part of the problem could be related to all of the game's DLC add-ons and how it checks for them. It sounds wild, but video footage has made it one of the most convincing possibilities yet. Yesterday, user u/d_tilmaranda published a rather lengthy post on the our Monster Hunter subreddit titled "MH Wild Bad Performance Mystery Solved?" ? As they explained, they discovered the issue by mere chance after playing Monster Hunter Wilds through a friend's Steam account. Is that even allowed? You might get banned for that. Just saying. After Steam testing, Tilmarande came to the bizarre conclusion the only difference was that their friend had bought all of the Monster Hunter Wilds downloadable content on Steam. As they explained, on the account with no DLC, I get heavy and stable FPS drops down to like 20 to 25 in hubs. While on the account with all DLC bought, it's 80 plus FPS, which makes no sense, but you would think like I have less stuff, I have less content, my game should perform better, but no, more DLC seems to mean better performance. And it's like substantial, like 3-4 times better fucking FPS, which is insane. But the story gets even weirder because Tilmaranda revealed that this isn't the first time they've discovered a performance fix for one of Capcom's PC games. According to them, they contacted Capcom with an FPS fix for Dragon's Dogma 2 back in 2024. They claimed that the fix was then incorporated into the next patch for the open world RPG on Steam. It's also worth noting that Monster Hunter Wilds players on PC have felt like performance keeps getting worse with each new update. Each new update for the game also comes paired with new DLC. As of writing, 190 individual pieces of DLC are available for the game on Steam. This new theory would explain a lot. Capcom hasn't yet confirmed the modder's findings on sustained how much of the performance issue might be attributable to the DLC checks. No word from Capcom's end yet and the veracity of the Tilmander's findings, but it will be interesting to see if the issue is suddenly resolved once the next patch for Monster Hunter Wilds drops on PC. So as far as I understand it, something in the checking path of the game, in the checking process, seems to going on all the time. And when you don't have those DLCs, it just keeps on checking over and over. Like, oh, did you not now maybe bought like a DLC? And it's going through that list of 190 DLCs and just dropping frames for that matter. That's how I read it, the whole thing, which is bad programming, and it has nothing to do with the engine, like the visual, like the game engine. It has more to do about like just bad development, bad coding for very, very regular stuff, like checkings for DLCs, if they're all around or not. Maybe they're gonna fix it now. It is interesting. It is an interesting finding for sure. Like the friend account who has all the DLCs working perfectly fine, high frame rate, you know. But the one account without any DLCs purchased keeps on checking in the background, and that makes the game run like shit. Weird. Bad programming for sure. I'm banging my head on Doom RL level 4 ultraviolence. Haven't made it past level 6. Is it so difficult? Doom ultraviolence. RL. Don't know which RL is. The RAM issue is not going to be solved this year. It's gonna go bad still. And it's so bad that some GPU producers, manufacturer, just plainly don't gonna produce any cards anymore. NVIDIA ending RTX 5070 Ti production amid RAM prices crisis report, and has an update now. The ongoing RAM shortages and associated increase in RAM prices are starting to affect other prices of hardware that make use of fast memory. Graphics cards are especially susceptible, which has seemingly forced NVIDIA to start discontinuing at least two 50 series cards that ship with 16 GB of VRAM. A report by Hardware Unboxed states that several GPU manufacturers have designated both the RTX 5070 Ti and the 16 GB version of the RTX 5060 Ti as end of life, meaning that no new stock is being produced. And in the update, we got a little bit more clarification, like not NVIDIA in general, just stop producing those particular chips for those particular GPUs. It's more like the manufacturers, the assembly line or assemblers, certain manufacturers just will not produce them for now. Update: Asus has released a statement clarifying this information may have been an error on the part of company spokesperson. Neither of the aforementioned cards have been discontinued, and Asus has no plans to stop selling these models. As a result, availability may appear limited in certain markets, but this should not be interpreted as production halt or production retirement. It is a halt, though. For now, it's a halt, because if you're not going to get chips by I don't know which RAM chips they are using, Micron or Samsung, probably more Samsung. If you don't going to get chips, you can't produce the cards. So there's that. Or only for premium prices. So just a little update here about certain GPUs. You might get them still, but for extra high prices. What a surprise. Amazon has greenlit a Fallout reality show where contestants live in a vault for a huge cash prize. Fallout Shelter is currently looking for contestants to appear in the 10-part reality series, which will see them compete in a series of games that test the 7 core attributes from the Fallout world: strength, perception, endurance, charisma, intelligence, agility, and luck. Special, as an acronym. The reality show will follow the success of the live-action Fallout series, which debuted in 2024 and stars Ella Purnell, Aaron Moten, Kyle MacLachlan, Moises Arias, and Xelian Mendes Jones. I said Jones. Jones, Walton Goggins, and Francis Turner. Big Brother, just with a Fallout theme. Well, those Big Brother shows are usually kind of disgusting, and you see almost everything what they do. Even the very adult part, I think only showering and only shitting and all on those very, very, very private doings and happenings. I think you don't see those on cam. And because it's Fallout, it's going to be Fallout themed. You're probably going to eat cockroaches. That's a thing in the game. So you're probably going to do some challenges this way. And I don't know what attribute that might be. Is it a strength? It is certainly not intelligence to eat cockroaches. But yeah. Doom the roguelike. A reality show? Okay, weird. Oh, I will turn right in. Not. You will gonna participate in this. You're gonna be in this Fallout Shelter, Steve. No, you're not. Because you're a pussy. You're not gonna go on cam. You're not gonna go on cam. Lots of news. Oh, we are past the middle line here. More Amazon stuff. That's kind of a sad news because this game is actually liked a lot, but Amazon just doesn't want to maintain it anymore. Amazon is killing New World, its once hot MMO. New World, Ethereum will soon be part of the old world. Developer Amazon Game Studios announced in a blog post Thursday that the fantasy MMO has been removed from digital storefronts and will officially go offline on January 31st, 2027. After 4 years of steady content updates and major new console release, we have reached a point where it is no longer sustainable to continue supporting the game with new content updates. Anyone who currently owns New World will be able to play it until servers officially go offline in early 2027, but only have until July 20th, 2026 to purchase in-game currency. The current season, Night Heaven, will be extended until New World goes offline for good. The New World was initially planned for 2022 release, but Amazon delayed it multiple times. Its eventually launch in September 2021 proved enormously popular, with hundreds of thousands of players clamoring to get into the game, causing lengthy queues. Its popularity eventually led to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X versions in October 2024. New World remains one of the most popular Windows PC games in history. According to SteamDB, it's currently ranked 11th in terms of all-time peak players, with 913,000 concurrents, beating out games like Baldur's Gate 3, Marvel Rivals, and Hollow Knight Silksong. And it's a fun game for a while, for sure. I would not pay like 40, 50, whatever bucks. At one point, you can get it for free if you have Amazon Prime, and that's how I got to it when I had my Amazon Prime. I was able to just get the code, enter it in Steam, and it's still there. Overall, it's an interesting concept. You always can change your class. You always can become something else. And you have like a mixture of two classes. What it lacks, though, is like the variety of skills. Meaning in fighting, in battling, you have pretty much only 3 buttons to bash over and over again. The 3 same skills. At least that was happening 2 years ago when I played it last. And I'm pretty sure it didn't change in the gameplay itself. That was like a little bit lackluster, just pressing the same 3 buttons over and over again. The gathering process, the building process, the auction house process, all that was actually pretty fun. You just can chill and just go gather flowers, wood, minerals, stone, metals, and all that. That part is kind of like just chill overall. But the gameplay, the fighting itself, got very quickly boring. Jason MMO. What's MMO? Mass Multiplayer Online. This was a pretty good game from what I've heard. Math Munchin Onslaught. It's a gay game. I wouldn't call it gay game. Visually, it's also nice. They had the beginning. They had a little problem with certain GPUs, and they blamed it only on the GPUs. But in the game, there was a code executing itself over and over again, and made some GPUs overheat and just destroy some high value, high quality GPUs actually. And primarily, as far as I remember, it was EVGA GPUs, NVIDIA's, which just overheated and melted and were just destroyed. Go look it up. New World GPUs meltdowns, and you're gonna get some interesting stories out there. It's still a gay game. Well,
Oh my God, you're gay.
it takes one to recognize one, I guess. Tin Rabbit. I don't know. Microsoft replaces its employee library with AI learning experiences, in quotation here. Quotation marks. That's a kind of a crazy story. And I have my thoughts about this. I'm going to tell you my thoughts. Last year, Microsoft committed over 100 billion US dollars of new investment toward AI. Part of the technological arms race has included training LLMs on millions of books, including some written 600 years ago. This year, Microsoft is paying back the favor by ditching its own employee library. The Verge reports that the company is closing it down and slashing news subscription in favor of AI-powered learning experiences. That's in quotation mark here. The on-site collection of books was allegedly so heavy it once was blamed for cracking the underground parking lot pillars that supported it. That library, now housed in Building 92, will now be closed, according to The Verge. The company's roughly 220,000 employees have also reportedly lost access to the checking out digital copies of businesses' books and accessing news publications like The Information. Instead of learning about the world through the considerate words of other human beings, they will now be engaging with a more modern AI-powered learning experience through the Skilling Hub, according to an FAQ sent to staff. The library closed as part of Microsoft's move toward a more modern, connected learning experience through the Skilling Hub, it reads. We know this change affects a space many people valued. Contrast that with Microsoft recently said after it was revealed that UK police had relied on an AI hallucination when making the controversial decision to ban fans from a certain soccer match. Just a little note here in this article. Like trusting AI in everything, not a good idea probably, because you can infuse like wrong information in the AI databases. And that's what happens with just hallucination and banning soccer fans. I mean, not that I care for those soccer fans, but it's a very slippery slope here we are conducting with just kind of banning books and trusting AI on the learning experience that they put here in quotation mark all the time. Weird. It's unclear if Copilot will be the basis for these new AI learning experiences that employees are now being encouraged to utilize, or what other sources of information they will use to review them now that the library is shutting down. So my overall thoughts about AI and all that nonsense, and you can believe it or not, but all those big-ass corporations, all of them, be it Mark Zuckerberg with Meta and his AI efforts, be it Elon Musk with XAI, meaning Grok, be it like Sam Altman with the fucking Chat GPT and OpenAI, be it Oracle and Palantir, like those big-ass AI databases and platforms. They all try to do the same thing. They want to establish a new AI god. Literally, I mean that literally. They want to establish this new AI religion. And the first thing they need to get rid of is like old knowledge, like very specific knowledge in that sense, to get rid of that. Meaning the old religion have to go, and you can't rely on all those old information. That's why they just got rid of all the books. Like you can't access the books anymore from this big ass library, like physical books or digital scans of those books. They can't access those anymore. Just 220,000 employees can't access those books anymore. Why? Why can't you still have like at least the digital scans of all those books? just to read them for yourself. Why do you need to rely on a curated version by the AI? Very simple. Christian had done that. We probably got the Library of Alexandria was probably, there's no confirmation really who really burned that down, but probably by Christians, early Christians, because you have the Bible. You don't need any other books. You don't need any other informations. And later on, the Muslims burned multiple libraries across their empire, in Egypt, in India, and all that. And there's, I forgot the name of that one caliph, but he said, like, if it's not in the Quran, it's useless knowledge. We don't need it. Burn it. If it's stuff from the Quran, we already have the Quran, so burn it either way. So yeah, it's really stupid. But that's what happens now too. Just get rid of old knowledge. You can't rely on your own lying eyes to read certain stuff with your own lying eyes. You need nanny AI. And in this case, it's probably going to be Copilot. Probably going to be Copilot. A GPU should never melt. Well, it did. It literally did. They want to be comfortable with it, Ike. Who else burned books? Hitler. Yeah, that was also an effort by the Nazis for sure. But this is a way bigger effort right now, because it's a combined effort with all those corporations. They all don't want those old books at all. They all want their AI, and it's going to be a combined AI at the end. And it's not going to be a friendly AI. It's going to be an AI that they fucking adjust to their liking. It is just, for me, it's kind of scary because we're probably going to lose a lot of information. And we can't decide what is true, what is untrue, what is real, what is unreal, if we have to rely only on AI at one point. Whoever has the control of the AI just can claim, yeah, my AI is the best, and just trust my AI. Just like Eric Schmidt, former CEO of Google, of Alphabet, who said, like, we want to give you the right answer on the first try, so that you don't need to think anymore, of course, because we can't have a thinking population. That's just bad for business, I guess. So yeah, crazy story. And they want to establish again an AI god, literally. It looks like we are getting an ad-supported Xbox Cloud Gaming tier, and it could be official as soon as this week. Early indicators had that advertisements are coming to Xbox Cloud Gaming. Service has been spotted by users with messages stating that ad-supported playtime popping up for users when launching games. One user, The Verge's Tom Warren, posted their own experience seeing this message firsthand. Ad-supported Xbox Cloud Gaming has not been confirmed by Microsoft as of writing, nor its scope across the service. However, last year, an Xbox official confirmed that the company would be experimenting with free ad-supported cloud gaming. This hint at advertisement rollout across Xbox Cloud Gaming comes at the interesting time too, with an Xbox showcase set to take place on the 22nd January. While it's been stated that the show will focus primarily on a handful of games, including Fable and Forza, which Forza is going to do well, pretty sure. Fable probably going to bomb. Rumors have been circulating that such shift with the company's cloud gaming service could be rolled out this year. It's also coming into an interesting time for cloud gaming in general. With the AI boom ongoing, hardware prices have skyrocketed for consumers. This will, or perhaps already has, curbed the ability of gaming enthusiasts to buy their own machines, potentially leading a new wave of cloud gaming services, such as what Xbox is offering. While not especially great news for consumers, there's no doubt that Microsoft has positioned itself into a leading position as far as cloud gaming is concerned. Yeah, that might be also like a global effort in general. So you had physical media at one point. You were happy. You just inserted the disc or the cartridge in your console or your PC. You loaded up from the disc or from the medium in general, and you played. Then came Steam with this new fucking Steam platform. You can have all your games in a library and download whenever you want. Isn't that like convenient? And then after about 2 decades, we got finally confirmation like none of those games you have in your library are your own possession. You have it in your library, that doesn't mean shit. You don't own those games. Pretty simple. And then they make this AI god, starting to make it, advancing it, building it up, more data centers, buying up all the RAM, makes it for the consumer, make it for the customer, like way too expensive to get just a regular GPU for a decent price. And since you don't own the game anyway, why not go directly then to the cloud streaming in the first place, right? And Microsoft is in a good position. I agree on that, you know. I think that's a very accurate statement. They have now a very good position. And not only they have like a subscription, which rises in price all the fucking time. We had just a price hike last year of the ultimate subscription at least, and the other tiers too. But since they have the hardware now already, and it's not running all the time for everybody, you know, why not utilize it? Just make it a free subscription. You're gonna connect your Steam account in the Xbox Cloud too, and can you play your Steam stuff too? Pretty much probably like in NVIDIA's experience, GeForce Experience Now, where you put in your credential there over a server, and you get access to all the games they have in their system. Isn't that convenient? Isn't that all convenient? Soon enough, they will get rid of the like the free tier, and they're gonna have only paid subscription too, with ads. What Netflix is doing, what Amazon is doing, what Disney has, and probably Paramount has the same kind of subscriptions. You're still gonna pay them, you're still gonna see ads, and you're gonna own jack shit. Yeah, that's how it goes now. So we have no confirmation that this ad-supported tier is out there, and how it will compete with NVIDIA's free version. We have to wait and see. And no, I don't. Oh. That's supposedly a woman. What is a woman though? Huh? Weirdos. Cloud gaming is lame. For certain games, it works fine. If it's not a game that needs like high or low latency in that sense, high refresh rates. But Nvidia, I think, can go up to 120 FPS these days with the higher tiers. Oh, nothing, be a slave. Just like the WF says to everybody this week. Damn, it actually made it through the chained court and still got cut down before finishing the first set of levels. I can't imagine that. I can't imagine what nightmare mode is like. Every time Ike mentions Microsoft, I always think he is talking about his wang. Sure, Cheddar Steve. Now the question is why you think about my wang. Just saying, it's a little bit weird. I mean,
why are you gay?
It's a valid question. A new Nintendo Switch 2 model has been discovered on Nintendo's account website. Blue Sky user .sky or DudeSky has discovered a new Nintendo Switch 2 model number on the official account portal for Nintendo. The Switch 2 model code is OSM, which differs from the Switch 2 model code that is B or BEE. And an image of a Switch 2 is shown, confirming that this is in fact a Switch 2 model over the original Switch. I mean, for me, it doesn't look too much different. It's just like not a picture. It's just a kind of a whatever picture. It's not like a photograph of the console. It might be a Switch 2 Lite. It's unclear what this new model is, although it's being widely theorized that due to the Switch 2 likely going up in price this year due to major RAM shortage, that will impact the tech world this year. That this could be a Switch 2 Lite or a model that will be released to allow the Switch 2 to remain at a lower price point in the lead up to its second holiday period. A Switch Lite would make sense, meaning you can't hook it up to the TV. You just can take it only with you, and the controls are not detachable Joy-Cons like the Switch 1 Lite, right? Less RAM, smaller screen, so it doesn't need that much RAM and all that, would all make sense. But we have to wait to see what Nintendo is really gonna offer us. Not that I will buy it, anyhow, because I'm not a Nintendo fag, like some other Latin X in my chat. So yeah, but for people who want to spend a little bit less and don't need to hook it up on a TV, that might be a good solution for on the way, you know, or on the couch, on the bed, whatever. How much it's going to cost, who knows, and what the tech spec is going to be, we have to wait. It was just spotted. That's what we know for now. Will there be a good news section? I don't know if you can call it good news. Not a lot of good news, unfortunately. Like happy news. I didn't took that one news by Rockstar giving a supposedly terminal ill child early access to GTA 6 because he has only 6 to 12 months to live. That's pretty much the gist of it. So there's your good news for now. Rockstar was not a dick. This is good news, right? Fuck yeah, Nintendo fag for life. Pricing an issue for Nintendo products. If you're a Nintendo fag, yes, it's not a problem. It's not an issue. I agree. If you're a normal human being, it's gonna be an issue. Saudi PIF moving $12 billion of games firm shares to subsidiary Savvy. The Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund (PIF) is moving billions of dollars of stock in game companies to its own Savvy Games group. Bloomberg reports that around $12 billion in shares are being transferred from the PIF to its games-focused subsidiary. When this is completed, Savvy will own around 10% in companies such as Koei Tecmo, NCSoft, Nexon, and Square Enix. This transfer also reportedly includes the PIF's holdings in Nintendo and Bandai Namco. The fund has already moved 11 million shares in Grand Theft Auto parent company Take-Two, according to the regulatory filing in December 2025. Savvy Games Group was set up in November 2021 by the Public Investment Fund as part of Saudi Arabia's economic diversification and social transformation, according to CEO Brian Ward. And that's what I kept also telling people. Don't think just because it's Saudi Arabia, it's going to be like everything super based, blah, blah, blah. No. The base Saudi Arabia, but by cutting off heads of certain individuals, they need to open up to the world. diversification is a thing for them too. They can't just kill people because those people think differently these days. And that is just another like showcase here. The company has been building up a substantial portfolio of companies. It acquired a $1 billion stake in Sweden's Embracer Group, bought Monopoly Go maker Scalpely for 4.9 billion, which is here a typo, the point, it's 4.9 billion, and has snapped up esports firm ESL Gaming and Faceit. Savvy is reported to be the strategic partner that was set to invest $2 billion US dollars in the Embracer Group, but pulled out of at the 11th hour. This resulted in the Swedish company laying off thousands of staff, closing studios and canceling projects in a restructuring effort. Embracer has since split into 3 distinct companies. And yes, that has probably like a connection, meaning the Saudis didn't invest in Embracer that much. Embracer therefore just canceled certain projects, and that had led probably to the closure of Monolith at Warner Bros. Because they didn't get any money to develop new games, and bye-bye. So it's all like a fucking rat's tail here of money just getting wasted or not invested. Bring in the gay. No, Muslim girls cannot play video games. They will get stoned. It's not true. Stop lying. Ahoy FP, how are you doing? Prize and issue. Bring in the gay. I agree, Saudis should join the 21st century. After all, it's current year. They can take their example from our President Obama, who ushered in a new era of racial healing. Of racial healing. Didn't go super well. And Trump is destroying that a little bit. El Mascarado is fearing for his life. That's kind of an interesting news, but they seem to be biased, those Italian authorities. Italian competition authority investigating Activision Blizzard over Diablo Immortal and Call of Duty mobile monetization. Autorità Garante della Concorrenza e del Mercat, AGCM, the Italian Competition Authority, has launched an investigation into Activision Blizzard over how the company has monetized both Diablo Immortal and Call of Duty Mobile. In a post on its website, the organization has said that the games firm has adopted misleading and aggressive practices in how it offers in-app purchases, in addition to breaching consumers' contractual rights. And they go on in this article about like how the whole system just drives you crazy. Like, wanna buy now? Now you can buy, and you're gonna save on this crystals and all that nonsense. Like just forcing that nonsense all the time. But the thing is, Activision Blizzard is not alone. Pretty much all the major mobile games do that. Like just forcing those ads, forcing those purchases, those microtransactions all the time. You do another level, you don't have enough crystals, the system already knows you don't have enough coins, and it's gonna offer you right away, if you buy it now, you're gonna save 10%, and you're gonna get 5 more coins for the purchase right now. All that is nothing new. So why they go only after Activision Blizzard? A little bit weird. I gotta go. Have a good day. Bye, Bimo. You mean those cyber games that literally get high, like all the cyberpunks were gushing about in the 90s in Mondo 2000 and Wired? I don't think he knows what you mean. I don't know what you mean. 10% off? Hell yeah. Well, they're gonna get haste, it seems. Haste is very susceptible to that practice. AGCM has said that the investigation will focus on the possible use of deceptive UI design to attract customers back to these games more often, as well as on making them play for longer when they do. Examples of this include prompts about potential rewards inside and outside of gameplay, as well as in messages and notifications, in addition to calls to purchase time-limited items. Yeah, time-limited for today, probably. Some bullshit like that. And it's gonna offer you tomorrow the same again. And like I said, it's all those games are notorious. I'm just pushing that dopamine rush. Like, if you buy it now, you're gonna save, you know. I haven't played it now. I played it for years and years, just getting into the game on a daily basis, doing my little task, errands in the game and all that. In Future Fight, which has all the Marvel's characters in it. And every fucking day, it just pushes all those things. And depending on which mode you play in the game, because you have different modes like PvP and just regular level rushes and all that nonsense. Every time you do one of those new ones on the day, it's gonna prompt you a new sale. It's annoying as fuck. And you'd have to turn off the notifications, otherwise it's gonna try to lure you in. While you are outside of the game, it's gonna notify you, hey, you have forgotten to log in today. You have to do this and that task and all nonsense. So it's really nothing new, just for Activision Blizzard. All of them do the same stuff. Oi, King of Biltong. Good afternoon, everyone. Hello, Ike. How are you doing, Anton? How is the meat hanging? Hopefully it is drying well. Howdy, buddy. That's not a game, that's a job that charges you money. Kind of. But it works well because you want to see the new custom. You want to reach that new level. You want to reach your character getting on your new stage and all that. They know, like psychologically, they absolutely know exactly what they are doing. South Park has had a great fucking episode about microtransactions, and that's what it's all about. Microtransaction. Every possible second. They need to get every cent out of you. The organization also has concerns about the parental controls within these titles, saying that they automatically default to a lower level of protection, which allows in-game purchases. Well, if you give your kid your credit card information, just put it in the system on their smartphone, you also have done a very, very sad, bad job in parenting. Just pointing that out too. Doesn't limit playtime or interactions with other players. AGCM is also looking into how consent for personal data is obtained, as well as whether consumers are adequately informed about their rights in these games. Well, if you install one of those games, at least on Android, usually you get all those prompts at the beginning. Do you allow contacts to be shared? Do you allow your camera to be accessed? Do you allow your microphone to be accessed? Do you allow the position to be accessed and all that nonsense? If you just skip all those points and don't realize what you just allowed the phone to do, you also lost at parenting. You should be not allowed to have a smartphone of your own. Maybe. Just saying. I saw you were live, so I popped in. Meat is hanging. Stiff. Ooh. Don't make Cheddar Steve hard there with such a word and meat. It's crazy how many games in the last decade have gone down this road of making you do boring, repetitive things in-game exactly like the real life we're trying to escape from. I mean, it works well. Certain games, I see the appeal, like simulators and all that, but on the other hand, it's like, I'm not a farmer, you know. That's just, I'm just talking for me, for myself, of course, right now. I'm not a farmer. Why would I waste so many hours in a game doing like those actually very boring tasks, like putting those seeds all the time, watering all those seeds, changing the earth, you know, picking the earth there, driving back and forth to get new fertilizer. I don't see the appeal for me. If I want that stuff, I could invest a little bit more energy, you know, and do real gardening work. But that's just me. Some people don't want to work, but still want kind of the feeling like they achieved something. I absolutely get that, but it's just weird. And those games are all very, very, very successful. Farm Simulator, multi-billion revenues there. Crazy. Seek medical attention. Oh, because it's, I mean, depends on how long it's stiff, right? Wash the dishes in the game. Exciting. I mean, for some people, seems to be exciting. But yeah, I absolutely on par with you there with thought-wise, Olo. Why are game designers trying to recreate every tedious, boring real-life aspect in the fucking virtual world? What precisely is the point? I can do anything in this virtual world, so I'm going to do everything exactly the same as real life, except less rewarding. Less tiresome it is too. You're gonna use only your hand and mouse and keyboard, so less effort overall. But yes, I mean, reminds me kind of that part. I think it was depicted well in Ready Player One in the movie. People just being in the virtual world doing errands there, like meaningless errands, but because you did your part to society in a virtual world, you're gonna get some reward, meaning some currency, some coins, and you can invest that into real life stuff. Maybe buy better food, maybe pay off your bills, you know, or like in Black Mirror, the very first episode, I think it was, where you just were on a bike training and seeing ads all day long, generating like energy and doing ads, watching. Weird, like no value there really, but that's how people might make money in the future. Probably it's going to be something like that. AI is here to stay, and we're going to have less and less jobs in offices primarily, and those people need to be fed, and you have to make them feel like they're having a real job, but they are actually just slaves. And yeah, it's all fucked up. Let's see how it goes the next 4 years, because Agenda 2030 is still in the play. No need, stiff is the best way for it to hang. Cheers, everyone. I'm out again. Bye, Anton. First 3 seasons of Black Mirror were great. You should watch the movie Bandersnatch. It's about reality. Alot Dishwashing Simulator is a unique game that combines elements of survival, farming, and horror, where players must wash dishes while exploring a mysterious world and managing resources. Thank you, Tin Rabbit. He might have gotten a buck or two to say that in my chat, who knows. At the end, you have no real flowers or food. True, absolutely true. A lot of people with no jobs or with soulless jobs, which is most people, are definitely looking for a reward no matter the source. And that's how they're gonna split like the share of the world's wealth overall. Like, oh, you did something, you know. I mean, it was meaningless, but you pressed the buttons on a screen the whole day long, so you participated in society. No matter that it was meaningless from the get-go, but you did your share. You're gonna get 1 coin more today. Weirdo. We have some Zelda news. And Netflix news, for that matter. Sony's Legend of Zelda movie will be exclusive to Netflix after theatrical run. The Sony Picture live-action The Legend of Zelda movie will be exclusive to Netflix following its theatrical run. Netflix and Sony Pictures have announced as part of the larger deal. The Netflix-Sony deal is a multi-year pay-one agreement that begins this year. The Zelda movie was singled out in Netflix announcement as some of the first SPA movies that will come to Netflix. Others include The Nightingale, Butts, Spider-Man, Beyond the Spider-Verse, and the new Beatles movies from director Sam Mendes. Deadline reported that Sony also considered making a deal with Amazon, but Netflix stepped up. The report said the value of the deal is $7 billion, but neither Netflix nor Sony confirmed this. They didn't confirm about the amount of money. But yes, it is weird that Netflix got that deal with Sony. And Sony is the only company who has to say in this. So Nintendo has no say in this, which is sounding weird. Netflix is going to have, usually after 45 days in theater, it will then be released on Netflix. So some people might actually subscribe to Netflix, some Nintendo fag looking at El Mascarado. If he doesn't have Netflix yet, he might have a subscription just for a Zelda movie. We should have a Discord streaming viewing. I'm not gonna pay Netflix shit. You want to stream it? One of the upsides, fewer bullshit jobs. No, we're gonna have more bullshit jobs. Labor theory of value. I worked so hard making those mud pies. Yeah, sounds like a little child. Mommy, I made the mud pie. Here, we are not gonna hunger. Weirdos. Oh, dear Sarge. He says, hello to all of you guys. I don't have Netflix. I have 0 streaming subscriptions. Yeah, but like I said, because you're a Nintendo fag, you probably will subscribe for this one. Speaking of subscriptions, RuneScape is gonna live off only of subscriptions in the near future, meaning from this week on. After 14 years, RuneScape's awful microtransactions shop is going away next week because Jagex, which is the parent company, developer, and publisher, wants the MMO to be a safe haven of storm weathering bet against the falling trust in the world. I talked about Jagex and RuneScape. It is filled with weirdos and fags and trannies, and it's a safe haven for those people. Just pointing that out. Talked about it 6-7 months ago. War, economic uncertainty, collapsing guardrails of democracy. These are things that keep a lot of people up at night these days. But John Bellamy, CEO of RuneScape studio Jagex, knows of one very familiar virtual space you can return to when it's a little too scary out in the real world. And that's why we needed to include it from the real world into this game, meaning like Pride Parade and all that nonsense. But this year they started doing less of that because people seem not to be into it anymore. It doesn't make them money for some reason. What a surprise. Late last year, Jagex opened the decision up to the public, pledging to get rid of the controversial cash shop if 100,000 players voted in favor of doing that. And wouldn't you know it, more than 120,000 microtransactions averse players sent their message loud and clear. Do it, Jagex. And that's exactly what the studio is doing next week on January, which is this week. We put our communities right at the heart of everything we do, as we always have, he said. It's not just a cliche or a tagline. That's literally how we run business and how we build stuff. Our bet is that if we continue to do that, and we do with high transparency and authenticity, that will pay dividends. We are openly against generative AI. We are openly against microtransactions. We are just ripped them out. We are really trying to be a safe haven, a storm weathering bet against the falling trust in the world. And that has been driving huge amounts of growth. And Bellamy is the same guy I talked about when he announced, like, we need to get like away from this only woke mindset, because the majority seems not to be up for gayness only. And he seems to go on with like listening to the majority now. It seems, at least. So no microtransactions anymore in RuneScape. And RuneScape is an MMO. It is a meh-looking MMO, and you just pay them a subscription, monthly base, on a monthly base, or 6-month subscriptions, or annually subscriptions, which is about $100 for the annual one. That's now how they make money these days. Will it pay off? We have to wait and see. I don't care for their survival, though. Just pointing that out. Dude, I think we are dicks around at the same time, lol. I did basic there in 1988. How can you think about games when we live in a literal police state? I mean, escapism is an important thing. Otherwise, you might go crazy. So it's a good thing to go away from the real world. They received no shit. D4 39 July September for basic. Some military talk here. Video games are an escape. They are 14 years too late. I mean, maybe. Our barracks were covered over by the water tower and clothing sales. $100 for the annual subscription. Annually, not anal. But I get it that you would like an annual subscription for $100. James Cameron, says he needs to figure out a cheaper way to make Avatar movies for Avatar 4 and 5 to happen. He's no stranger to splashing cash on the cinema dominating blockbusters he's churned out. But when it comes to Avatar 4 and 5, James Cameron has admitted he might need to watch the purse strings a little this time around. Even after earning $1.2 billion at the box office following the success of Avatar Fire and Ash, the Pandora-based threequel is still leagues behind the previous installments. Avatar still stands as the most successful film of all time with $2.9 billion and Avatar The Way of Water raking in $2.3 billion, making it the third most successful movie ever after Avengers Endgame. And you have to keep in mind that was, I don't remember exactly the time frame of 1 and 2, but inflation is a thing. It's a real thing. So that 2.9 billion is probably these days more like 4 billion-ish in this ballpark there. And the 2.3 billion of The Way of Water, would say maybe like 2.5, 2.6 billion these days. If you do it like inflation calculated. And it is on 1.3 billion now, but it's not doing as well as I thought it will do. Maybe people are just tired of movies and theaters in general. Because he also realized that, I think. He said, here's the thing, the movie industry is depressed right now. Avatar 3 cost a lot of money. Cameron explained during an appearance on Taiwanese outlet TVBS News. We have to do well in order to continue. We have to do well, and we need to figure out how to make Avatar movies more inexpensively in order to continue. And yes, you have to. You can't just fucking waste money. And I don't see actually where all that money for the production of Avatar 2 and 3 went, because the cameras you already got. You know, you didn't do anything more with those cameras with higher frame rates, 3D and all that. So where did all the money really go? And most of it is all CGI anyhow. So what's going on there? Money laundering on a bigger scale? Who knows? Man, I wish I did military service after high school. Why? Hey, James, just stop. Jim. Call him Jim. Just call him Jim. James Cameron wants to invade America with an army of moose, but he's too blind to see the LNM teeth sprouting from Vasquez' cheek in his 4K Aliens remaster. What? I can't relate to that reference about Vasquez. I'm bad with names. Just pointing that out. Did an 80 in August 19th, blah, blah, blah. More military talk here. He is asking you, El Mascarado, UrhG, that is, assumed you did. You visited Europe on your own dime? Why? Did he go to Europe? I don't know about that. Lol, the track of Texas. Says Cheddar Homo. Nintendo demanded Sega to put Mario's foot in front of Sonic's for Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. Ryoichi Hasegawa, who was previously a producer at Sega's, I guess, has shared an interesting tidbit about Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. Back in the day, this was a pretty historic partnership. Mario and Sonic were once seen as rivals, but the two were coming together for the first time in their own game. As it turns out, though, Nintendo did have a particular demand. According to Hasegawa, Nintendo wanted to ensure that Mario's foot was always in front of Sonic's for various official art. There was actually an error and Sega was forced to change it to meet this demand. Mario and Sonic had a few different entries, but it now looks like the series is finished. At one point, the 2020 game was intended to be a big crossover with Zelda, Dragon Ball, and more. Nintendo being Nintendo, like, they are the best. They just can't be on any depiction like a little behind Sonic. Weirdos. Just a little, like, historic information here, just out of nowhere. But that was the demand of Nintendo. Our Italian plumber has to be always in front of Sonic. Weird. There are little teeth coming from her cheek in the briefing scene. Cameron said complainers should get out of their mom's basement. I say he needs new eyes. I don't care about Cameron. He did one of the best movies ever created, best action movies. Terminator 2. What can I say? I love the movie. And he is not like a super weirdo like many other big directors in Hollywood. I have never like come across like controversies about him and maybe children and all that, or defending pedophilia. He seems way more down to earth, despite like wasting a lot of money on his projects. But he seems to be way more down to earth compared to many other weirdos in Hollywood. So can't be too mad about him or at him. Nope, never did. Yep, I visited Europe and Latin America on my own dime, not taxpayer funded. Olo Vasquez also got blown up in Lethal Weapon 2 and her diving board. Same actress. I may go to the Mainz, Germany in September for a conference this year. You should have come to Switzerland this time of year. Report on the WEF. And about the prostitution. Prostitution is skyrocketing every WEF event. Skyrocketing. Millions and millions of Swiss francs are being generated in prostitution in Switzerland. Isn't that weird? That's what I said at one point. Don't remember where. Isn't it weird that those people who gather at the WEF trying to convince everybody on this planet that they are the moral high ground of everything, business, military, industry in general, media, they are just a higher standard, moral higher standard. But for some reason, like prostitution is skyrocketing at this very event, and of course cokes, meaning this very fine powder up the noses, billions and billions of Swiss francs. So much for a higher moral grounds. I don't need to go to Switzerland for prostitutes. Yeah, you have some. For you, it's gonna be exotics. Exotics prostitutes. Something outstanding. You never saw it. Olo Vasquez also the blow up. Yeah, I read that. I may go to the mains. Why has Mario got a camel toe? Did he have one? I don't. He doesn't have a camel toe. At least not on that depiction. El Mascarada, the only country I ever needed a passport to was to visit Panama. Most of my travel was government funded. Good for you, Sarge. Good for you. He was actually like a fad, and you all know what I think about fads, right? It also starts with an F. But when you are working for the government, you are, even in the military, you are a fad at one point to a certain degree. Meaning you were partially fag, for sure. All that you say is true, and I'm not discounting his achievement, but in my opinion, his last real movie was True Lies. I don't remember when True Lies was released. Not very far off, was it? Like a few years, maybe? Avatar is mindless slop. I mean, visually it's fine. Story-wise, lame. Overall, story-wise, kind of lame, I agree. Visually good, acting okay, audio-wise, music and all that is fine too, but it's very forgettable. I agree. If that's what you mean with slop. Invitations, here's my invitation. better get the antibiotics and antivirals ready for the WF. I'm used to do that for all my life. Anyone to the right of Mao is literally worse than Hitler. Substarch says haste. I don't need to go to Switzerland for prostitute. You do. Sarge, the conference is a web development conference for the CMS called Get Kirby. Damn, sounds techy above my head. Yeah, for him that was like not even English. I can tell you that much, El Mascarada. Sarge, I have today quite a lot of tabs open. I feel like I'm you today. I have over 36 tabs open. With my picture here, it's 37. I feel like I'm a little Sarge. Where was I? Yes, Sonic and Mario. Capcom's next big Resident Evil remake will reportedly be revealed this year. When? Who knows? That's according to the reliable sleuth Dusk Golem, who claimed on social media this weekend that later this year Capcom will unveil a remake of the Dreamcast game Resident Evil Code Veronica. Dusk Golem, who has a history of reporting on the Resident Evil series, previously claimed that remakes of Resident Evil 0 and Resident Evil Code Veronica were in development, something VGC also understands to be the case. I'm okay with it, but they didn't give us like any verified information, but it makes sense, and that was already like kind of mumbled in the space of remakes. That's going to be the next thing, either Code Veronica or 0, and it's going to be Code Veronica. I hope they gonna make remake of 5 sooner or later too. But they probably need a few years before they can make a remake where you shoot zombies that are black. You can't have that, you know. That's just not going to happen right now. Not right now. Let's wait, though. Maybe in a year or two, they're going to have plans. English, motherfucker. Mario Camel 2. Yeah. Sarge, the only downside of the conference is they're super liberal, and creator has TDS and is a tranny. Sounds like you're gonna be best friends with that. We already know you talk to trannies all the time, El Mascarado. And you love to be handed out coffee by trannies too. Only 36 tabs, that's weak. Try harder. No. Because I have it because I need it right now. I'm not going to leave them open. I'm going to close all of those tabs, you know, Sarge? I don't need them all the time open. Not weak, it's smart. I usually have 8 tabs max. Sarge has like, literally like at least 40 tabs always. At least. But usually, because he never closes them anyway, and he never reboots his machines, he's just going to pile them up. After a reboot, he's just going to pile them up very, very, very quickly. And you're going to have like 100 tabs, and he doesn't want to bookmark anything. That's easier for him, like just having everything open. And then ask questions, why is everything so slow, and where is my thing? And just he's going to click through all of those tabs till he finds that one thing he was searching for. That's how he operates. I have only 5 tabs open. I guess I'm slacking. Yeah, I usually have also 4. Mainly all the time 4. Emails and Rumble and YouTube. That's all. Assassin's Creed boss puts a hidden blade to Ubisoft in $1 million lawsuit. Former Assassin's Creed lead Mark Alexis Cotte is reportedly suing Ubisoft, having departed the company in the later half of last year. He had worked on the publisher for over 20 years. It also sounds a bit messy, if we're being honest. Word of Koti's departure arrived just a couple of weeks after the publisher's deal with Chinese conglomerate Tencent came into effect. Said deal saw Assassin's Creed and other major properties to be gathered under a new creative umbrella named Vantage Studios, which was granted Tencent's financial backing. There were suggestions that Kote had effectively been pushed out by the new management, and that's basically what the ex-franchise head is set to argue in a court of law. In a statement from Ubisoft that was published online back in October, the company wrote that it was saddened to see Kote go and that it was deeply grateful for the impact Mark Alexis has had over the years, particularly in shaping the Assassin's Creed brand into what it is today. Clearly, things weren't quite so cut and dry. Again, Kote's lawsuit argues that the new role Ubisoft offered him after a 2-week period of reflection was simply an unacceptable demotion, as the publisher looked to hire a head of franchises, overruling his previous position. I mean, that's how Ubisoft got rid of you. Very simple. Selling off those franchises, those IPs, which is Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six, to pretty much Tencent in this new group, this new joint company, Vantage Studios, and they were probably not so happy with you for whatever reason. You were maybe too expensive for them. And despite being ahead of Assassin's Creed and shaping it to what it is today, and it is shit today, just to be clear too, they got rid of you very easily. Like demote you in the position and having another guy who did the same job or does the same job you had all the time for probably less money. Isn't that nice? Wait, a tranny-run conference? What the fuck? Smart enough to create shit, but he doesn't know which bathroom to use. Oh, he knows which bathroom. And how dare you misgender him? Or it, Sarge. Might be a woman who transitioned to a him. You don't know that. Weather, email, calendar, YouTube, and Rumble is what I usually have open. Maybe a news tabs. This is the news tab right now. This stream. Will this lawsuit go anywhere? Hard to say, but he just feels like he was pushed out and under false claims by Ubisoft. We will see. I don't have high hopes for him. He should have gone for 10 millions just to have a little bit negotiation room to go down with his own price, pretty much. Finally, to the main attraction today. Disclaimer, I'm not a Warhammer guy. I don't know a lot about the lore. I just read a little bit about the lore, like the overall lore, what it is about. It's in the future. There's war going on all the time, and you have super soldiers, genetically modified super soldiers, and usually those are like fucking real warriors, male. It means something. They established that lore like almost 4 decades ago, you know. And it's a primarily male-dominated like thing, Warhammer 40k. But I don't really I have never read any books. I almost never played any Warhammer games. I painted only 3 figures, Space Marines. That's pretty much like the limits of my involvement with Warhammer. But the Games Workshop, which is like the parent company of Warhammer, might lose a lot of fans after this announcement. We're gonna see how well it's gonna do. Warhammer 40k's new models give the Emperor female bodyguards. Warhammer 40,000 is a beloved sci-fi franchise that, unlike other space drama IPs like Star Wars and Star Trek, looks at the concept of hope and laughs. Tragic and grimdark before this term was cool, Warhammer 40k is set in the future where humanity first conquered the stars and then, collapsing under the weight of its own pride and the dark influence of the evil forces beyond reality, retreated into an age of decadency and constant warfare against alien threats and demonic foes. With a setting like that, you would think gender would be the last thing on everyone's mind, but not this time. Yes, gender would be the last thing to think about it, because why? Very, very, very easy thought right there, right? After years of controversy around this topic, Games Workshop just made history by adding female options to Custodes kits. For the uninitiated, the Adept Custodes are elite warriors who are responsible for protecting the Emperor of Mankind, serving as his most powerful warriors and the keepers of his secrets. Pretty much like the same like the Praetorians who protected the Caesars, you know, in the Roman empires. And they were all males for obvious fucking reasons. They are all highly trained warriors, and males just are stronger, faster, and usually like just better in combat in general. Their combat prowess is legendary, and they act as enhanced versions of the already mighty Space Marines, the Adeptus Astartes. Until now, all Space Marines Custodes included were considered to be male in the canon. However, this changed via an announcement during Games Workshop's New Year preview livestream, where the company showed off a new range of models for Custodes. The big reveal was that some of these new models features female heads. Wow. So stunning and brave. So fucking stunning and brave. Almost 40 years old is Warhammer in general, you know. And now they come out a little bit late. You should have done that on the peak stupidity. I would say like in the pandemic, in the scamdemic, in 2020, 2021, you might have better chances. I don't think it's going to go well for you, just saying. That's just my opinion for now. Negotiation. Negotiation. Haste, why are you so racist? You gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket. Warhammer has Sisters of Silence. Yeah, we come to that. And Sisters of Battle Regiments. If anyone gets a hissy fit about female characters in this computer game, it's more a tabletop. It's not a computer game. They need to read the lore. To be fair, it's rare for me to have more than 5 tabs in the browser window, and I generally don't have more than 3-4 windows. Access Space Cadet. Sure, whatever. Warhammer 40k's female representation hasn't been overwhelming, but nor has it been non-existent. The Sisters of Battle, an all-woman military arm of the Ecclesiarchy, have been around since the 90s. The Sisters of Silence, introduced in Warhammer 40k's 7th edition in 2017, are an all-female order of imperial witch hunters that deal with violent psychic threats across the galaxy. These groups are largely considered the female equivalent of the Custodes, though their function as a militant arm is overall different. Yeah, if you say like psychic makes sense, using the brains, the female can do that the same, but maybe even better. So in this lore, in this world, this galaxy and universe, it's already like pointed out what are the female roles. However, Game Workshop's inclusion of female custodes models isn't actually the first time that female custodes have appeared. Only the first time that models have been crafted for the tabletop game. In 2024, a new Warhammer 40k rulebook revealed a female custodes named Kadales Tavalia Kesh, who, as pointed out by Gizmodo, was the only female representation within the custodes at that time. This was later added on with the Tides animated series, featuring Tirith Shiva Karis, another female character added to the custodes. And this isn't actually the first time that female Space Marines miniatures appear either. In fact, according to the Facebook post by Alan Merritt, former head of intellectual property at Games Workshop, the reason why there are no female Space Marine is that the first models produced by Citadel, GW's miniatures producing brand, in the late 80s sold really badly. No shit, Sherlock. So you didn't produce them because they sold so badly. Now, almost 40 years later, let's say 35, just to make it a little bit more plausible, I guess, for those mindsets. Let's say 4 or 35 years later, you try it again, just a little bit, tipping your toe in that waters, right? Of new found DEI bullshit. I don't know how well it is going to go this time. You might get even more backlash just by fans, not even like telling you, but by just not buying your stuff anymore. Your numbers might plummet. I don't know. Maybe all those fans are beta males these days. I don't know. It sounds to me though like a bad business move. You realized it was selling very badly in the 80s, but yeah, try it again, I guess. Although Sarge has 2 laptops and there are at least 600 to 800 tabs open on each. Crazy. Yeah, he thinks like he has the oversight of all those. No. He's just too lazy, like, to memorize or bookmark. Mrs. Sarge is way different. She does everything bookmark and puts in folders and all that. She does the same with emails. Sarge has 1 folder for emails, input and output, that's all. Because Google is his memory. Google finds everything he searches for. Google is going to protect his ass, I bet. In a franchise male heavy as Warhammer 40k, the addition of even a few women was a huge deal. Things haven't changed that much, judging from the misogynistic comments on Games Workshop's latest video featuring the female custodes. Yeah, but you're still gonna go with it. You're still gonna go with it, it seems. Regardless of the cries of the lower retcons, something which Games Workshop has already addressed in the past as being untrue, that have monopolized public discourse, the new models make one thing clear. Female custodes and female Space Marines, whether you like it or not, are here to stay. The problem is fans have to like it. You want your fans to still buy your products. And this saying never went super well. You know, out of this saying, it turned into something new. Go woke, go broke, you know? Like, here to stay or here to stay. I think you're going to lose money. I don't know. I'm not a prophet. But such statements usually go not very well, don't age very well. Usually those don't age very well, especially when it's about DEI, about you already know it's a very male heavy like lore franchise, IP, very male heavy driven. For 35 plus years, those fans, males, primarily bought your stuff because they saw something that spoke to them. Now you're trying again and like probably gonna blame them. Like, oh, you just don't like it because it's female now included. Yeah, that's probably right. Why should the fans like that? You're gonna see it in the sales sooner or later. And of course, we have a FAQ, and we have to check that too. What they said about all this nonsense. Is this a new thing, was the question. Well, yes and no. Up until this point, those few Legio and Adaptus Custodes miniatures where we've seen without helmets have been obviously male, and the rest have been so armored that it's hard to tell. The new range has a mix of both male and female custodes. Like, hard to tell. Like, yeah, you always had already females in your hands, but they have the helmets on. You didn't know, and we didn't give them names yet. So you already painted those figures, those females figures. Sounds like those certain claims by weirdos, like claiming certain characters in other franchises were always lesbians, were always actually trannies, were always gender fluids and non-binaries. Just now they are telling you. That's how this question is being solved. They were so heavily armed, you just didn't saw and couldn't tell if they are females or not. So we already smuggled in those vaginas in your hands. Despite being very small vaginas and plastic and very heavy armored. Oh, what life, man. Painting boobies is fun. That's the thing, though. They don't look much different on the armor side. Even the faces, you're going to see some faces in a bit here. They are like ugly looking females. What's the point? What's the point? What's the fucking point? Like putting paint on real ones or painting pictures of them? Painting the figures, Sarge. There's FAQing news. Now, man, slap some paint on the real ones. Well, he is British. He's not gonna slap shit. Have you changed the lore? I thought all Space Marines and Custodes were male, was the question. Space Marines, yes. Lore-wise, Space Marines are made from human males, willing aspirants and or unwilling conscripts on the cusp of adolescence. They are subject to a series of horrific trials, and the strongest emerge as remorseless killers. Their humanity stripped away so they can serve as living weapons in the Emperor's armies. There are no female Adaptus Astartes, which are in the Space Marines sections. Custodes are not Space Marines, other than the obvious point that they are both towering, gene-enhanced warriors. The similarities pretty much stop there. Custodes are taken as infants and recrafted by ancient science. The process is arcane and bespoken to each individual. The Emperor himself retained oversight of the process, at least until the whole Horus Heresy thing went down. So, the same thing. The lore here in the tabletop in Warhammer obviously was taken from Roman lore. and it's not Roman lore like just some stories. A very specialized group, warriors, was there for the protection of Caesar, the emperor Caesar, right? And those were called Praetorians. All 100% always just male, for obvious reasons, like I stated earlier. For obvious fucking reasons. Now, here in this universe, you have gene modifications and growing them with other hormones and whatnot, right? They have technologies to do all that stuff. But because they have all these technologies, what does male and female mean at this point anymore? You know, it's just weird, right? Just a little bit weird. With chocolate syrup, but nah, I don't want to read all that nonsense. Text talk in my chat. Weirdos, you're all weirdos. But aren't custodes made from the sons of Terran noble houses? Some of them are, yes. The emperor is all about symbolism and authority. So those pre-unification patriarchal houses that passes their kingdom down to its firstborn sons had those sons taken and remade as guardians of the emperor. This is still true, but that was not the only source of recruitment. Other methods might have been equally overt. Others far more secretive. Noble daughters could also have been taken, and at some point you run out of noble houses, even after you've conquered all of Terra. The inexorable war machine of the Imperium still requires a constant churn of recruits. And you see here, this one picture. Can I zoom in here a little bit? So like armor-wise, you don't see titties on the chest. It's the same fucking armor outside. And the face just looks like a more female dude with long hair. It's not like a pretty woman. So what's the point in all that? Just to be able to claim, well, now we have females too in our ranks. Okay, great. I'm not going to buy this one, though. If I would be a fan, let's put it this way. Custards. Not custards. Custodes. How different are the male and female custodes? All custodes, male or female, embody the pinnacle of genetic and cellular engineering the emperor employed when creating his armies. They are all flawless creations, pushed beyond the limit of human potential. There is no difference in combat efficacy between a male custodian and a female custodian. Again, what is the point at this moment anymore? Just make some no genders at all, meaning they have nothing down below. How about that? What's the point? I really don't get it. If I would be a long year fan of this Warhammer franchise, like buying every month one figure, two figures, whatever, and I got into this lore, into this fantasy world because it was so heavy, male-heavy universe, about fighting, about war. Why would I be interested all of a sudden in female, ugly-looking little figures? Makes no sense to me. And probably many fans are going to be pissed, like amazingly pissed. Can I be a custode when I grew up, was a question, supposedly. No, if you can read this, you're already too old, sorry. Like treating you like a fucking retard. Like a child, like a brainless, not yet developed human being, completely developed human being. If you can read this, you're already too old. Because as a custodian, you need to be picked out as an infant and raised and genetically modified. And what the fuck, man? I think Games Workshop is losing their grip on their own fucking franchise. And probably gonna lose a lot of money. The Varginas are here to stay. The Varginas are here to stay, everybody. So weird. It's all male with a female head. I mean, from the technical aspect, yes, Mrs. Sarge. They are not going to make a different mold. It's going to cost them too much, you know. And produce those figures with a little bit more chest to see if it's a female or not. Makes no sense. Little side note news here. You might be a fan of this. Fighting Force Collection will have a Nintendo Switch physical release. December 9th, we have news about Fighting Force Collection, which was announced last year as a physical release, has now been confirmed. Limited Run Games is handling the production of this one. Fighting Force Collection will have both a standard version and a deluxe version. In the latter, you'll get the game CD soundtrack, double-sided poster, game case keychains, and an animal pen. I think it was just worth mentioning that because Fighting Force, I think, was kind of like the very first fighting game in the sense of, you know, the side scrollers of the arcades, just going from one side to the next, beating up hordes of douchebags and pricks and enemies with a little bar and just keep on doing your stuff. But this time, like in full 3D for the PlayStation first. I think Fighting Force 2 was then for the Dreamcast as an exclusive at the beginning. Might be wrong on that. But yes, it was like, as far as I think, the very first of those games, beat 'em up games against hordes of enemies in full 3D. So that's just my memory. Might serve me wrong, but I think it's worth mentioning if you have a Switch, if you're a Nintendo fag like our beloved El Mascarado here, he might buy it the physical release now, if he is into those games. Overall, it's an okay game. Didn't like 2 that much. One I kind of liked. Love Fighting Force. That could take weeks to get to haste. Last update on tracking was in Zurich. Yeah, it's probably mid-air, or it landed a few hours ago, something like that. It has to go through the process of the customs. Twitch streamers are still being paid to play Mind's Eye over 6 months after it flopped. Do I need to remind you about Mind's Eye? It was the GTA killer, which is what it was not, but they tried to establish it as the GTA killer. And the launch was disastrous, like really bad for them. All kinds of bugs, glitches, and performance issues, like crazy. Build a Rocket Boy, the company who developed it, was like not happy, but they still are trying to establish a name for themselves. But they didn't do well at the beginning with the release. But even before release, they accused like pretty much either Rockstar or Take-Two making bad statements about this one game they are having in the pipeline back then. But yes, it was a major flop. But we got like news, like some players being paid 6 months after it flopped still to just produce content of this one game. Hey, I'm here. If you pay me, I'm gonna play it. I have no problem. Give me the game for free. Give me some, I don't know, monthly kind of salary. I'm okay with $500, and I'm gonna produce every week one half an hour to an hour content video. Hey, if you want to waste money, I'm here. Someone at either developer Build a Rocket Boy or publisher IO Interactive hasn't given up on Mind's Eye because several high-profile content creators are still being sponsored to play the game following its December 2025 patch. As spotted by FRVR YouTube creator and Twitch streamer Crickern, whose channel currently boasts over 1 million US subscribers, recently uploaded a sponsored video of their Mind's Eye playthrough on January 14th. Stranger still, he's not the only high-profile creator who seems to be getting paid to produce new videos. For the lousy open-world shooter at the moment, a quick browse through the Mind's Eye partner tag on YouTube shows that the YouTubers like Sweet Tails, Blue Thunder Gaming, and Willy Rex, the latter of whom has over 17.2 million subscribers, have all been sponsored to play the game in the last month following its version 6.1 patch, December 18. This all leads to the inevitable question, why? To be frank, I don't know, says the writer of this article. I don't know, I have an answer for you, as the sponsored videos and streams don't seem to have made much difference to the player numbers on Steam. Maybe things are going better on console. Admittedly, the game does look to be in a better state now than it was at launch, but I think the damage has already been done. A Cyberpunk 2077 turnaround story, this is not, at least for now. That's what I said from the beginning, though. So it's not like the game was anything woke or like in that sense, anything giving you messages. It was just like broken at launch. It was very broken. They still have the chances to redeem themselves, and that's probably what they are trying to do, just keeping certain content creator hooked, paying them. They should produce more content, and the game might be in half a year on a state where it's really playable and have no major glitches and bugs anymore, with stable frame rates and just being fun. Could happen. I hope for them, because other than just being broken, in like technically it doesn't seem to be a bad overall game, you know, content wise. Mind's Eye. I said the D, you bitch. Make a sandwich, bitch, is next. Make a sandwich, bitch. I'll be lurking in the kitchen. Clean up bitch duty. Do that. Yes, remind me of Mind's Eye. I just did. And it's not going super well, though. Players just keep away from it because it was so fucking broken at the beginning. Like, you're gonna have like 10 concurrent players and all that. It's really bad looking for that. But keep going. Keep going there. Now, this was kind of an interesting news. Just attune certain characters and games to different markets. Original Tomb Raider creators resisted calls from Japanese publisher to make a manga-style Lara Croft. One of the original designers of Tomb Raider's iconic Lara Croft has revealed that Core Designs, then Japanese publisher, had asked for the character to be given a manga redesign to appeal to Japanese players. Responding to one fan who had unearthed a comment from him a few years ago, Tomb Raider co-creator and programmer Paul Douglas confirmed there had been a little pressure quite late in the Tomb Raider's development when publisher Victor Interactive said or asked for it. Victor wanted us to change in-game Lara to appeal more to a Japanese audience. Douglas revealed on Blue Sky. Huge eyes, head, etc. they faxed through examples really late in development. Co-creator and designer Toby Gard really didn't want to alter Lara. As a compromise, all that was changed was the manuals and guide. Not sure who did that render or illustrations. The mysterious rendering Douglas is referring to can be seen in the first image appended to this Blue Sky post, republished below. And that's what the Japanese wanted, at least the Japanese publisher. I mean, yes, I agree it would probably appeal to the Japanese people, but also it's like a vice versa thing here, like the localization here. Why should the original makers attune their creation, change their creation for a certain market just because they demand it? And this just looks weird. I think it was a good decision not to change it in-game like that. But this was probably in the manual here. Looks just weird. A little nice, interesting piece of history, I would say. But yeah, I would probably not play it in the Western market, at least. Such a Lara. Because our Lara has to have nice, big, pointy tits. That's kind of a good news. We got one. Guy who worked at the Pokemon Company arrested for spying in bathrooms. Ben Tsai, a 44-year-old man in Seattle suburb of Butt Hell, Washington, was arrested earlier this month after he allegedly hid a camera in a Starbucks bathroom in nearby Kirkland. Tsai allegedly told law enforcement that he had hidden cameras in bathrooms dozens of times in public places, including local supermarkets and his workplace. According to the Seattle Times, that workplace wasn't named in the court documents on Tsai's arrest. But the paper was able to trace Tsai's last place of employment by finding his since deleted LinkedIn account, the Pokemon Company. In a statement to the paper, the Pokemon Company says Tsai is no longer part of the company as of earlier this month, and that the corporation is cooperating with law enforcement on the investigation. Tsai was the director of engineering out of the company's Bellevue office, and prosecutors allege that he targeted transgender colleagues at Pokemon. Super weird. Super fucking weird. So he was mainly looking for wieners or defunctions, wannabe vaginas out there with close-ups with his hidden cameras. So something is very, very wrong in this dude's head. If he considers himself a dude, that is, right? Well, thanks for the follow. I have two channels, one for movie TV reviews, the other for short experimental clips. Shades of Little Richard, who notoriously put cameras in bathrooms to catch a woman peeing. Yeah, but he was not into women, obviously. He was trying to catch trannies to pee, which is just very, very awkward. Disgusting and awkward. The Seattle Times story has the play-by-play on how Tsai was caught, which was primarily thanks to his using his credit card to buy a coffee at Starbucks. After which he admitted to hiding cameras in various places, no more than 50 times. Though he said that he does not sell or give out the videos he records. Oh, well, that makes it way better. At least he didn't make money with it, with his weird, disgusting fetish of selling tranny wieners. The report says Tsai claimed he was mainly curious about transgender people and was not attracted to children. Oh, thank you that you point that part out. But how about transgender children, huh? Would that turn you on, you fucking freak? Disgusting cocksucker. He told us that he had placed a camera in his workplace bathroom, and the detective wrote in the report. I asked him if there were any transgender people that work in his office, and he said yes. Well, at least now we know because of his witnessing transgenders and the Pokemon company. There are transgenders there. Big deal. The police have seized the equipment and hard drives from Tsai's home. His trial is set for March. Protecting the transgenders, I guess. That's something. Oh yes, that was the last news I got today. So much weirdos around. This guy apparently wanted that pussy. It just gets worse. I won't be surprised if Ike does this too. Fucking insane. I don't do shit like that. I am really better. I am literally better than all those weirdos. Anyhow, what time is it? We went through in 3 hours. I'm okay with that. Just checking the chat if I missed anything important. Gotta go AFK for another work call, said Haste there. Be lurking in the kitchen, Mrs. Sarge. She shall make a sandwich for Tin Rabbit. I think dear Sarge should defend the honor of his wife. Your wife was called a bitch, dear Sarge, by Tin Rabbit. Will you let fly by? Other than that, I haven't missed anything more. Well, I think we got all the important news. A lot of news. If you want to read them for yourself, like in greater detail and completely, and have more context, all the links are down below. And I pretty much reached like the cap, the limit of text in the Rumble Studio text box there. 4,928 characters of 5,000. Maybe one more, maybe two more links would have fit in, but other than that, I maxed it almost out, which is kind of crazy. But yes, a lot of news, and I think interesting news actually, like the AI stuff, Microsoft in particular, just getting rid of books, trust the AI guys, and Warhammer being just probably losing money in the near future, and all that, you know. Other than that, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, night, morning, whatever it might be. My name is Ike. This was TAGN, the Angry Game News, and I don't know when I'm gonna report again. Maybe on Friday, maybe on Saturday. We're gonna see. Thank you for being around. Take care. Bye-bye. We need to raid somebody. Let's see if we can raid somebody. We're not gonna raid idiots. Maybe somebody unknown. Let's check out. Go a little bit back. People with only a very few viewers. Maybe new people. Maybe somebody who doesn't play Arc Raiders or Hightail or all those hype games. By the way, Hightails is got a lot of hype in gaming news, but I'm not gonna report on those. It's pretty much Minecraft. do I see somebody with a different kind of game? Just anybody. Too many people playing the same games. That is kind of annoying, isn't it? Music is over. I'm still in the looks. Well, I'm not gonna lead anybody away to any of those streamers today. And unfortunately, nothing speaks to me. Arc Raiders.